We should be live. Yo, welcome back to another
Yep.
episode of Player's Choice, episode 171. We're gonna have to start this show on a little bit of a somber note because, as you guys know, Tom Brady and Gisele are ending their marriage. Rest in peace to the goats.
Somber dub, you're not meant
Rest
to
in
laugh.
peace to the goats' marriage, man. That's
Man,
tough.
she's being tight, bro.
Why do we care about that?
Well, it's Tom Brady, man. It's like, why would you?
He's just going to turn up on the field, man. He's going
I
to
hope
play
so.
for another 35 years.
Yeah, he might, dude. He might turn into a robot. Dub, how has Brady been doing this season?
The season has been pretty slow for him. He's had a lot of injuries in his wide receiver room. Last game they just got destroyed by the Chiefs, but I think the Bucks are going to be able to turn it around. I'm more looking at the defense and how the defense has been playing more than Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady's been doing the best that he could. So that's all I got to
this
say.
weekend.
Is he washed up?
No, he's not washed up at all. Tom Brady's still Tom Brady, bro. He's still fire.
Is he,
He
top
hasn't,
five?
and he's top 5 in my eyes. He's top 3. Shit. Top
Is that
2.
because he's Tom Brady or because he's actually playing at that level?
No, he's playing at a high level, bro. And I don't think he's fallen off from the year 2020 or like 2021. So there's no reason for me to think that he's less than that. He's been playing really good.
So you view Tom Brady like you view LeBron?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
Mars, put your hand in front of your camera. It's like a little fuzzy. I think it needs to focus. Everyone's strolling into the live show. Shout out to everyone who's tuned in live on the YouTubes. There's a 2-click entry fee, though, if you're tuning in on the live, or actually if you're also watching this post live on YouTube. All we ask is that you click that like button, click that subscribe button, so that you never miss a moment.
Mars, you was preaching about Draymond?
I mean, I said I think he's underrated. I mean, it's something I think I've said on here before.
Oh,
But-
okay.
You definitely made that known when you said that he was over Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, but that was more peak Draymond. I still think I think Draymond's been underrated damn near his whole career.
You don't think Draymond is in his peak anymore?
Nah, obviously because the offense.
mean,
has
last
fallen
year
off.
was
the
kinda-
scoring has fallen off a cliff in recent years. But if you just when he was actually a viable scoring threat,
2016 is.
that's
Yo.
when he was at his best.
I think I asked you that before, but I don't remember what you said. So if there's a player, right, and he has a peak
Mhm.
of 3 years, right, then he falls off. Still very good, but let's say he falls off for 2 years, 2 seasons back to back, and then that third one after his peak,
Why
he's
did you
actually
mute me?
better. Huh?
I'm listening to your spoon clank your bowl, bro. Like, I'm not going to listen to that.
Okay, I'm
I'm
sorry.
getting started on my mutes early.
Okay.
Sorry,
Go
Euro.
ahead, Euro.
So what happens if in that third year he actually plays better, outperforms his peak years? Like, what happens to the peak then?
Well, I've tried to evolve the peak take because of outliers such as 2 good years, down year, another good year. I tried to like extend it as far as I feasibly can. So I'm looking at for some players, there's like 3 years that are just so much better than the rest of their career, which I will rate accordingly, but I will also bring it down if someone else has 5 years that are peak level, that are comparable because they've done it for 2 extra years. So for that player, if they have 3 good years, 2 down years, and then another year that matches the other 3, I'll look at it as for a 4-year peak, but over a 6-year span. So I'll take it down a few levels because it wasn't as consistent.
So you average it out.
Yeah, I try to do that as best as I can.
Do you consider circumstance? Like, for example, if a player gets traded, he has no say, and he ends up with the Knicks, and that's just a franchise that, you know.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
call it.
you just don't have any pieces around
I
you.
call it the T-Wolves tax. It doesn't mean it happens to everyone who goes to the Timberwolves, but it's basically if you're in a situation that isn't beneficial to you and there's a clear drop off, and then you come into a better situation for you, I'm going to account for that. It's the same thing if you get injured during your peak. Like I think Steph Curry's peak started in 2015 or 2016 and has carried on all the way through now. But obviously in 2020 he was hurt. But I'm not going to say his peak stopped in 2020 and then continued again. I'm just going to go all the way through and acknowledge that he was hurt, and it's just all like one peak.
So
if that makes sense.
So if that slump year because of the injury hadn't happened, then obviously, because what you just said earlier, he would be a couple of notches above what you rank him right now in terms of his peak, right?
I don't know if he'd move up, but his peak would be better, if that makes
Better,
sense. 'Cause,
right? And so,
yeah,
like, who would he, if he didn't have that slump year, who would he be above in terms of peak that he isn't right now?
it's hard because I have his peak really high, so it's hard for me to because I have in terms of every player ever, I have Steph's peak at number 7 already with the injured year. So for me to move him up, he has to go above the likes of Kareem, Bill Russell, Hakeem, Shaq. So it's hard for him to actually move up.
Are they 6 by 4?
Yeah, Kareem's 6. No, Russell's 6, Kareem's 5, Hakeem's 4. So for me to actually move him up, it would take a lot more than one extra year because I think those guys are maybe a level above. But I think Bill Russell is possible. I think if Steph like continues for maybe another 2 years at a peak level, he can maybe overtake Bill Russell.
Can I ask you this?
Mm-hmm.
Since you measure peaks in 3 years, how do you rank Draymond Green?
3 year peaks minimum. 3 year peaks minimum, but not 3 year peaks maximum. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
3 year
So
peak minimum, right?
yeah, but not everyone's
Draymond
at a
Green,
3 year level.
Draymond Green only had that 1 year, maybe 2 if you count.
He had 1 year that was an outlier offensively, but I still
Yeah.
think he has a 3 year peak of 16 to 18 was a 3 year peak, but 16 was like, so if it's a mountain, you got 16s at the top, and then 17 and 18 are below. So you got the peak of the mountain, and then like two rungs below the peak, but it's still a peak.
So my question is, if we're judging Draymond Green, especially on the offensive side of things, you know, when you talk about your peak argument, after that year in 2016, he just fell down the drain. So how do you even rank that offensive version of Draymond Green when you're talking about his peak and compare him to other guys?
I mean, I account for the fact that 16 obviously was an exceptional. If it was a 1 year peak, Draymond Green would be a lot higher on the list, but I'm not doing 1 year peaks because I think that's ridiculous. But I acknowledge that the offense obviously fell off, but I think he was still at a high enough level defensively where I think Draymond Green is a top 75 player in my opinion, even with the down offense in the last 2 years at the peak, last 7 years or whatever. But if he had 3 years like 2016, I think I'd be probably putting him top 60, top 50. But he doesn't.
Do you think Draymond Green would be having better years if he was with a less well-oiled machine than Golden State? Because peak is individual, like you know what I mean. So like he could actually be better, but let's say the T-Wolves tax, right? If he's with the T-Wolves, he would no doubt be better than what he's doing right now.
But his numbers would be better. I think his impact.
The team would be better too. Not saying that they would be a dynasty because obviously
the team. I mean, I think a team with any sort of offensive talent, if you add a Draymond Green to that, I think they become a better team just based on the values and what he brings to the table. But if you put Draymond Green on a team with no offensive pieces, the team's going to be terrible. And then that's going to be like the 2020 Warriors when Steph and Clay were out. I understand Draymond Green had a very bad year that year, but I can also understand the T-Wolves tax. The situation wasn't beneficial for a guy like Draymond Green. And I'm not going to say that's indicative of him as a player, more so than a bad situation that made him look worse than he actually is. So I can balance those two things.
T-Wolves tax is very valid, also very nasty, though, for you to name it that.
No, that's actually.
I think T-Wolves tax. It was a T and a T. I can't call it King's tax. It doesn't sound as good. So T-Wolves tax.
I think that's a very solid foundation you built. I think the main pushback I have, especially when we talk about a guy like Melo, you know, the way I'm ranking players is, you know, the best guy on my team. Who am I taking as the best guy on my team? And even though Draymond Green, I think he's an amazing defensive, he's an amazing complementary piece, and I can't dispute that. Melo, as the main guy, as the leader of my crew, is hands down. I'll have to go with him more than Draymond Green every single time, because when push comes to shove, you need a reliable score, and Carmelo Anthony is that, especially in the postseason. That's very, very important. I mean, yeah, your defense could lead you to a title, but there's only a few times when we've seen that in NBA history where that's really happened, and that was the Detroit Pistons. Maybe the San Antonio Spurs, but they even had like Tim Duncan who could bail you out sometimes. I don't think Draymond Green, as the best guy, has the capability of bailing a team out in late game situations or postseason situations.
That's why I can't really jump into this conversation, because I don't understand how, Mars, you clearly, you know, Draymond is a role player and Carmelo Anthony is not. Like, it's apples and oranges. I don't know how you can just so easily compare the two.
No, it's easy.
I mean, it's not like it's. I'm not saying Carmelo scores better, Draymond plays defense better. I'm not doing it like what do they do better than each
No,
other.
but you're talking about impact. But the thing
Yeah,
is,
because
like,
the way
the
the way
impact
I
of a
look
role
at
player is
yeah,
completely different than the impact of
I
a
agree,
of
but
a.
the way I look at it, because I try to look at it this way. If I have a player like a Carmelo, and he's the best player on my team, do I think my team has any shot of winning a
No,
championship?
I understand your logic
No.
100%.
And then
I just don't.
if I put him as the second best player on the team, do I think we have a chance of winning a championship? Yes. I also think Draymond Green is the second best player on the team, has a chance of winning a championship. So even though Carmelo can do more as the number one guy, he's not going to bring me to a championship. So I don't really
Oh,
value that
So
much.
that's where
okay,
I
okay,
disagree. Wait, hold up,
wait.
yo.
Okay,
That's
so Draymond Green as the second best. So who needs to be his first in order for them to win a championship?
I mean, it's been Steph Curry.
oh Jesus Christ. This is where I disagree. You saying that Melo, like, come on, son. Like, this is where I disagree because you're saying Melo can't lead the championship, but let's be real. He pushed that Lakers team to a game 7, the Lakers team that won the championship. And let's say if they did win and beat that Lakers team, they're beating the Orlando Magic. So if they win the championship that year, that kills your whole argument on him not being able to win as a
I
one.
personally believe they had no chance of winning a championship in
How is
Denver.
that no? How is game 7 no chance, Mars?
Just because you went to a game 7, which I
I
didn't
would
know
say
actually
that's
went
a
to 7.
chance.
That's a chance.
I would-
That's
didn't
no
know.
chance.
I didn't know went to game. I didn't know it went to game 7. I thought the series was over in 6. But if it went to
Listen,
7, then
I would
okay,
even
I
go
thought
as
it was a
far
6-game
as to
series.
say, I would even go as far as to say, this is nasty, hot take. Go ahead, editor. Clip this up if you want. I'm already
Your
the
middle
bad
finger
guy.
up now.
Yeah. I'm already the bad guy, bro. I would say that even if you get swept, but if all the losses that you took are within like 2 or 3 possessions each game, I think you had a chance. Like that could have been your series.
I agree that you can lose a close series even if you get swept and the games are close and you can have a chance to win the series. I don't think Denver had a shot of beating the Lakers and Orlando back to back in the playoffs. I don't think they were a championship team. I don't think they were going to win a championship. And I'm pretty sure the series went to 6
It was
games
6.
against
It
LA.
was 6.
But that doesn't really change the premise of my argument. I just don't think that Denver team with Chauncey and Melo was going to win a championship. I think they were a good team. I think conference finals runs were like, if they stayed together, that was a feasible way for them to keep going into the future. But in terms of winning a championship, I don't think they would ever go over that hump. And that's me personally.
I mean, listen, they damn near did it in 2009, which is why I say to sit here and say that there's no chance as Melo as one is just kind of irresponsible, especially when he was going up against a guy who's in a lot of people's eyes top 10 player of all time with a great Lakers team in Phil Jackson, and he was the main catalyst on why that series was so
I mean,
close.
that's what happens. In order to win as a one, you have to end up beating some of these guys who are top 10 all time, top 15 all time. That's what you have to do to win as a number one player on a team.
But what has Draymond Green shown you?
I said he can't win as a number one player on the team. I perfectly admit
But
that.
who would come close?
No.
Who would be closer as a number one?
Carmelo would. Draymond Green is the best player on the team.
Is it even close?
Draymond Green is the best offensive player on the team. Wouldn't win more than 15 games in a season. I think you could build a team where Draymond Green is the best player, but there's still a better scorer on the team. I think Draymond Green can be the best player on the team and not the best scorer or offensive player.
Now, when we do it like this,
he's winning a championship doing that.
The gap between the first option between Melo and Draymond is nowhere near each other, correct?
Yes.
Is the gap close to each other with them as both being is the gap close to each other as both being the third option? So by that logic, I still don't understand how Melo's better. If one guy clearly clears everything else besides that second and third option, when it's his hand is really this close.
Because the way the way I judge it, if as a number one you can't get me to the finish line, I don't really value what you can do for me as a number one. Me personally, I value how you can help me win a championship. And if you can't help me win a championship as a number one, I'm gonna look at how you can help me win a championship as a number 2, as a number 3, as a number 4, whatever the case may be. And as a number 2, as a number 3, as a number 4, everything down to number 15, I'm taking Draymond Green over Melo, and that's the only situations where I think either one of them can win. So I'm gonna take Draymond Green because
do you think that portability is important?
Portability is very important.
What do you mean portability?
Able to fit with different teams, different teammates, different like
ones, first,
like that.
third options. You feel me?
Yeah, 100%.
Who would you say is more portable, Melo or Draymond Green?
Draymond Green.
Draymond.
More portable?
Because I think, like I've said about Melo's game, I think Melo's game doesn't fit with a lot of different people based on how he plays. I think he fits next to a great playmaker like a Chauncey Billups. I think he fits. I don't think he fits on defensive units because of his defensive liabilities. I don't think if you put him in a ball handling, a primary playmaking situation, I don't think he fits in that either. But I think if you put him in a perfect situation where he's mainly focused on just being a scorer and you have other people to do the stuff he can't do, I think that's cool. But I think Draymond Green can do other things. I think if you need a primary passer, facilitator, Draymond Green can do that.
Can I?
You need someone to anchor a defense, Draymond Green can do that. He can fit in any defensive scheme that exists.
Here's how hold on. Here's how you have to look. Here's how you have to look at it. Jamars Hall said Melo doesn't work with other stars. Here's how you have to look at it: is actually Melo wouldn't work well with another primary scorer. So when you're looking at Draymond and Carmelo, and I still think Carmelo Anthony is a better basketball player than Draymond, but I agree that he has more to his game where he can go play a role better than Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony's not, I don't look at him like a role player. Obviously now, because he's on the down side of his career, he's going to have to play a role like he has these last few years. But to Mars's point, you can fit Draymond Green anywhere because everyone needs someone to facilitate. If you don't need a facilitator, everyone needs someone who can play defense. You don't necessarily need to bolster up your defense. Everyone needs somebody who can rebound the basketball. Carmelo Anthony's more on the offensive side of the ball. And when you don't need offense and you're bringing Melo in, what can he do for you besides bolster up your offense? And then you're lacking in what
I don't
playmaking.
even think he'll bolster your offense. I think there's a difference between a player, like, let's say, we're just talking about like offense and like how much ball, how much they need the ball, right? Like a DeMar DeRozan. I think he's a, offensive guy that would bolster your offense if you was to add him. But I think he is less of a quote unquote black hole than Carmelo Anthony, where like you pass to Carmelo Anthony and then that's that.
Yeah, that ball's getting passed to the hoop, right?
Exactly. Or if it's not, he's only passing it as like a last resort type of thing. And that doesn't mean like he's passing it out of a double team, but he's definitely holding it until the very, very, very last second to see if he can actually make something happen. DeMar DeRozan, I think he's more inclined to make a play that isn't necessarily ending with him. You know what I'm saying? And so there's just a difference between offensive guys like that as well.
And Mars says something that I just completely and utterly disagree with. He said Melo on a defensive team would be bad. I mean, that's just not true. I mean, we've seen Stephen Curry on a defensive team. The team is still a good defense. If Melo's on the Detroit Pistons, the defense is not really going to take a hit like that because of all the other factors. So that's the main thing I just completely disagree with. Melo could be on a defensive-minded team with a Chauncey Billups and other guys playing other roles. Let's not act as if Stephen Curry didn't fall under that same type of circumstance where it was the perfect circumstance for him to be in a perfect situation, a perfect defense, and to allow him to be the best version of himself, which is a scorer.
But the difference, I would say, even if you want to say Carmelo is a similar defender to Steph because they're both quote unquote liabilities, that's fine. But I think Steph is a much better off-ball defender than Carmelo's ever been. Carmelo doesn't do much on defense in terms. If you put him in a defensive system, you'd have to assume that Carmelo's going to change.
But he's making that up with
he can change. He can change. Players can change.
Yeah, I agree. Players can change, but that means you're going on the assumption on something that's never happened in his career based on nothing he's shown you, in my opinion, that he would adjust to a defensive system. I'm going based on what I've seen in his career, that he has never shown me to show that he has that potential to fit in the defensive system.
Didn't we
Steph Curry, I've seen the effort. I've seen that he's a good off-ball defender. I've seen that he's a smart defender. And I know he's not physically capable to be a great defender. I'm not going to say he is, but I've seen more to show that he can fit in defensive units than a guy like Carmelo. And that's
I've seen Melo put up enough defensive effort
for sure.
For me to believe.
I've seen him on the ball put up enough defensive effort, like 09 against Kobe. He put up a lot of effort, but he's still off the ball, he's not going to put out much effort, and B, you're not going to make him guard the primary scorer on the team. So his on-ball defensive effort on a great defensive team isn't going to be of much value because there's going to be other guys who are better at that.
Yeah, see, this is where I disagree. And what I'm pointing at is the Olympics.
I don't put much stock into international play, so maybe that's
it's when you're looking at his capabilities, you can look at that because So this is what I was going to try and get to is this is where we kind of get unfair when we look at players like a Carmelo, right? Where we look at these guys who are known to be scorers is because they were put in these situations where they have to be that guy. So we don't know if, for example, if he were to go to the Pistons early in his career, what kind of player he really would have been molded into. He wouldn't have to have the offensive load he wouldn't have had to carry so much of, and so he could have actually focused on other areas of his game, and you would have seen a more well-rounded Carmelo Anthony. But because of the situation that he's put in, and a lot of players get put in right early in their career if they're drafted to subpar teams, is you see kind of a one dimension from them because that's what's expected from them. That's what they have to do if they want to win basketball games. So yes, we can say like Carmelo is one dimensional. He's just a scorer, but that's just what you saw from him because of his circumstances. You don't know what Carmelo would have been if he was actually on a team where he's the number 2, or if he were the number 3, that would be disgusting. But that's where we kind of get a little unfair when we're talking about guys like this. Because they're in the NBA, bro. They can play anywhere and they can play anything.
Drop a W for the host, man. Jay, you about to make me cry, bro.
Hey, bro, we got 4 people up here. I gotta step into the ring a little bit. I can't just sit here and
drop
listen.
a W host in the chat right now.
But we already have an L, and Shaq was the one that assigned it. You know who? Dub?
Wait, what?
I said I was talking to Shaq before the show, and he told me to give out an L, and it's for you.
Oh, why? Because I think that was him who commented. It's because of me and Mars's allegiance.
Yeah, he's not fucking with it.
Nasty.
Listen,
you are right. Clearly, listen, man. Clearly, Mars is the golden child of players' choice. All right, let's not get that twisted.
No, let's not get it twisted.
As a former Martian, right? I guess I'm a Martian again by default, since Dubaholic has left to become a Dubinaire. I became a Dubinaire, and now the Dubinaires are fucking having allegiance with the Martians and shit. So I'm a Martian again. You know what I mean?
Okay. We could birds of a feather fly together. You feel me? Dubinaire. It's the what was it? The Dubinaires from Mars. That's what we're calling it. And you can be a Dubinaire from Mars, and I'm not mad. I'm not mad or angry.
I didn't sign up for that. But here's the thing, though. Shaq is basically saying that you are riding the coattails to the top. You saw Mars
that's what people are
mobilizing.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's
over, and you're like, oh yeah.
Okay. No. This is what
Euro just put words in Shaq's mouth. That was crazy.
Oh, this is the
riding coattails is crazy.
I'm gonna let y'all know.
He said yes, and he was like laughing.
Oh no. I'm gonna let y'all know exactly what it was, because I went to start a rivalry. Shaq is worried right now, right? Shaq and Dell has been going at this for a very long time. Now it's me.
The throne is
and Mars's. Now it's me and Mars's turn. Mars can be the golden style. It's cool. Fuck it. But guess what? Me and Mars could be a better duo than Shaq and Dell, and that's what I was trying to start up. That's what I was trying to start up. And I was trying to slither that in there, but now Euro says you're gonna be coattail rider. Now I have to tell you exactly what was in my mind. I'm just all right. You didn't say that. Somebody else said that. So now I need to clarify what was on my mind when I did this. This is to challenge Shaq and Dell for the throne spot as the best duo in Players' Choice history. So that's what I was
Ron?
doing.
Where's Ron in this situation?
Ron is an amazing host.
Yeah, where's
Euro? Euro,
the guy
you're
in the back.
I love you, Euro. You're goated when you're angry, though. I'm not gonna hold you. Angry Euro, I'm an angry Euro stepper for life.
You want me to be a bad person? That's crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. You don't want what's best for Euros.
You know,
it's a little disappointing. You know.
I'm sorry.
All right, let's get super chat. Oh my God, Dorian Clayton, what version of Dub are we getting today? Great question, Dorian. What version of Dub are we getting today?
You might just get Jacob today. That's my real name. I'm so serious.
We haven't seen him.
Nah, you haven't seen him. I mean, I'm just chilling right now. You feel me? Like, I'm chilling right now. The Dubinaire will come out every now and then, but today I just feel like chilling. Me and Mars had a little back and forth. It was actually a nice little back and forth, Mars. I liked it. Fist pump.
I enjoyed it. Oh, okay.
Man, y'all gotta stop fisting each other, man.
Whoa, boss.
That's what they called it in the chat the last time.
Quentin Davis
He
Bright
fisted.
said, only 4 of y'all today. JD, let me know if you need one more. Let me chill. Can't wait for the show to really start. We're waiting on Ron. And hey,
Yeah.
every
And,
show there's an
and
opportunity,
listen,
a potential opportunity or prospect
JD,
to bring viewers
if we
up,
getting
so.
anybody else up here, Cash, he said he wants to be back up, and he had got a nasty Draymond take.
I mean, I'll drop the link if we bring people up, and if you get in, you get in. Come on in. Be first to click. Quentin Davis Bright sent another super chat. What's Dub eating? It looked like it was good.
Oh yeah, my grandmother made some rice and soup, and I had corn on the cob with it. It was fire.
Fire. Euro's getting zapped here. Chris sent a super chat.
I'm
If the
getting
whole,
zapped? What you mean?
you're just going blurry. If the whole NBA did a King of the Hill tournament, who would win?
This shouldn't be a question. KD.
King of the Hill tournament, like what? Like playing basketball? Right?
Yeah.
Ones?
Yeah.
Got you. Oh, we just got a goated super
King
chat
of the
coming
Hill
in.
between two people. That's just 1-on-1. King of the
Yeah.
Hill is at least like what? Like
You have a
to have
multiple. It's
players.
like a tournament. You just have a multitude.
Bro,
of
I
guys
know what
going
King of
in
the
and
Hill
out.
is. I'm just saying, it's like
Oh,
you
my
just said
bad.
King of the Hill, and it's just like two players. I'm like, what you mean? Like just 1-on-1?
Just mansplaining. Can you use that term when you're explaining it to another man? I don't know. It is fun to say, though. Dorian Clayton, JD, best PC host we got. What is the best PC alliance that we can get? The greatest PC alliance?
Apparently, the Dubonairs
from Mars. The Dubonairs from Mars. That's the greatest PC alliance I
don't
could
know,
ever.
bro. I'm telling you, Dub. It is a steep mountain to climb. If you got Shaq and Dell on the same page, that's a disgusting, almost unbeatable alliance.
Listen, let me tell you something.
That's KD joining the Warriors.
Let me tell you something, right? Let me tell you this, right? Me and Mars actually agree on a lot. We agree on damn near everything. The thing is, we just value two different things. Mars, I mean, you just seen a perfect example of that. I value guys as a number one. Mars value guys as, complementary pieces. But we both essentially say and agree on the same exact thing.
Because he's telling you numbers that actually are true,
what?
like that exist. Mars
He didn't say no number right there.
What I'm saying, like generally, when you talk about generally, you agree with Mars, and Mars only speaks like the facts of what you can actually look up. So what's to disagree about that?
No, Mars really don't even be doing it like that. I think people overrate how much he uses stats.
I think the stats thing came from when I said the Shaq free throw thing. I think ever since then I just got labeled as someone who just goes to stats.
No,
I don't think I use
I know we're not. We know that you're not. We don't mean the actual box score. You know what I mean? Like what ESPN posts. We know that it's more like basketball reference types of stats.
Yeah, get rid of that.
Yeah, so that's what people mean by that.
I don't really be saying numbers. I just say impact a lot.
You say impact so much,
I know
that's measured on numbers.
I'm not trying to get back into that, but
I'm not even a huge fan of the impact numbers, especially like LeBron or Vaughn. I hate when people use those. But
Big Meech, Big Meech just sent a super chat, said Mars and Ticket on the same page might solo PC. That would be like an asteroid hitting Earth.
You know what it is? I can't even.
Very unlikely that would.
I'm not gonna hold you, bro.
He's wrong a lot.
Speaking of,
that's an opinion. He thinks you're wrong a lot too.
That's true.
Nah,
but
bro.
He's wrong about
Ticket B. I've never seen a man say something wrong but have so much conviction and get his. Remember that whole thing where?
Whoa, Dub! I see you do it a lot.
No, who me?
Yes.
Nah. It's not. It's not even compared. It's not even compared.
All of us do it
today. Here we go.
All of us do it.
First of all. I don't want to have this debate again about playmaking and skill, bro, because y'all was fucking tripping, bro.
Yeah, we don't have to do that.
Is definitely a skill. If you want to say
we
jumping
don't have to get into that.
That's a different debate.
But anyway, carry on.
But Jacob. What's it called? Ticket. There was this one time I remember when he was talking about the Knicks getting Michael Jordan and shit. And bro, this guy was just so on that hill, dying on it, and then everyone proved him wrong. And he was still trying to fight back, like
you have to.
That sounds like a double-holic,
bro.
Yeah, for sure.
I respect the way that he battles for his. It's fire.
I love it too.
Speaking of Ticket and the panel, Mars made his panel debut last night, and I'm curious, Mars, did it feel like How was it? Did it feel like layup lines? Did it feel like a preseason game? Was it, mid-season all-star game, championship level? Like where would you rank that show?
I'd say it felt like opening night of the regular season. There's a lot of suspense everywhere. Everyone's
Nothing's riding on that game.
Yeah, everyone was. I was in the Discord. A lot of people asking me to go on the panel. I got the late call up. It was a nice surprise, and then it felt nice. It was nothing really could go wrong. It's opening night. If you lose, there's like 81 games left to go. If you win, it's off to a good start for the season. That's how it felt. There was not a lot of pressure on me.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it, but I heard rumors and rumblings. They were saying that everybody was scared of you. Did you get that feeling?
I mean, I tend to not think about how people are perceiving me in terms of how if they're scared or if they're not scared. However, I just try to say what's on my mind, and however they respond is how they respond. I don't really look at body language or whatever, but no one said they were scared. So as far as I know, no one was scared.
Do you feel like the
Very
Thanos
diplomatic.
of Player's Choice?
See, now I've watched Avengers. I actually know what that means.
Oh yeah, how far are you?
watched it?
I've watched. What's the most recent film I watched? I have to check because I haven't watched a few. I haven't watched one in like a week or something because after Endgame, I kind of like.
Oh, okay, Endgame. All right, I mean that's a good.
I watched Spider-Man No Way Home and the middle one, which I didn't really like. But after Endgame, I kind of lost the motivation. It was like, now what? But I need to probably watch what's left. But feeling like Thanos, no, I think I'm like not Draymond Green, but I think I just do my part.
That versatility. Don't let Mars start understanding American football. It's over for you, Gridiron.
I already understand American football, but Dub don't want me on Gridiron. It's cool.
No,
I would love.
I would love you on Gridiron. What? But you don't know football. I know you don't.
He's telling you he
You
does.
You told me numerous times. So
I know Tom Brady's not top 5, but
Nah, he's for sure top 5.
he's not.
Let's-
But you have.
How do you know? How do you know who's better than
Because
him?
Patrick Mahomes is better than him.
For sure.
Aaron Rodgers is
Hold
better
on.
than him.
Mars,
Josh
can
Allen
we
is
get
better
a...
than him.
Why?
Lamar
Hold on, wait.
Ah, who told you this? Who
Lamar
told you this?
Jackson is better than
He's
him.
watching Stephen A. Smith. Aaron Rodgers is a bad man.
Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady.
Okay,
should
you're
be-
talking
No,
about
you
right
said
now.
Josh Allen.
Bama in the chat. He said he's spanking you, Mars.
I thought you said meant
That's cool.
like all time. You're not talking about all time. You're talking about this season.
Aaron Rodgers is better at playing American
All time.
football than Tom Brady. He's better than him.
All time?
He hasn't achieved as much accolades.
right.
Yeah, Tom Brady's got
Oh my
that.
god.
Better. Aaron Rodgers is better than him.
That's fine.
Yeah. Hold on. What other sports? What do you know about baseball?
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, how you feel about Aaron Rodgers? I mean, Aaron Rodgers.
Just say Barry
Aaron
Bonds,
Judge.
bro.
Aaron
Rodgers
Judge
playing.
hitting 62. Hitting the 62nd home run.
The only person I know in baseball is Ohtani.
Yes,
I don't know what makes him good, but he's the only person I know.
What makes him good is that he's a disgusting pitcher and he can hit the shit out of the ball. That guy is insane, dude.
I don't know anything about baseball. I know hitting a baseball is very hard. It's like, but that's
He might be the only reason why I even I'm like, okay, I'll maybe pay a little attention to baseball because this guy is insane.
Baseball is fun.
It doesn't look fun to watch.
No,
but I've never watched it. So
it's fun
You got to be in game. I don't like watching it on TV, but in game,
nah.
it's dope. It's a great
at the
experience.
stadium for sure. Euro, because you brought it up. Do you feel like that's the record, or we should?
No, I mean,
it's Bonds, right?
I mean, baseball is baseball. Yeah, for sure, it's Bonds, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, do you know anything about cycling, like Tour de France and shit like that? You know, it's like one of those sports that's like doping has just ran through it. Like everybody's doing it. The same. I feel like baseball, maybe not as bad as cycling, but it's definitely top tier cheating professional sports.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? When it comes to individual guys. So if everybody knows this, and everybody knows that even the active players that haven't been caught or whatever, everybody knows that these guys are, taking HGH and all this other stuff or whatever. Bro, just give Barry Bonds his shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like that like political shit about it, man. Like baseball is baseball. It's still a dope game, and them being so political about it is the only reason, in my opinion, why the sport has dropped in popularity. It used to be America's greatest pastime.
Dude, I think the reason why baseball is just not so popular is because of the whole marketing side of it. For the longest time, they didn't allow people to like clip content and like push content
Yeah.
for them and
The
stuff.
same with
Like,
cycling, like the UCI. They have this weird, like, and the Olympics, they're in the same way. There's a few companies that are so like archaic in their way of like
yeah,
pushing content and like their broadcast rights and
right.
everything like that. It's really weird, and so like they just do it to themselves.
I think it's
Fail
changed
to
though.
adapt to the modern day. Yeah, but they're
Yeah, yeah.
behind now.
Right, they're
And
way
now they got
behind.
to
I
compete
agree.
against basketball, which is rapidly growing to be one of the I mean, it's
Yeah.
to me it's top 2 most popular sports in the world after football, soccer. You know what I'm saying? Then in America, I'm sorry, nothing comes close to football.
Yeah. Yeah,
Despite
but
despite the NFL doing the fuck shit that they be doing.
yeah, when
Yeah,
you're talking
yeah.
about the entire world, yeah, basketball is probably top 2 because it's everywhere.
Yeah, you can play it everywhere. You know what I'm
You
saying?
can
Like
play it everywhere, but
you don't have to
they're
have equipment for real outside of a ball. You
right.
don't even have to have a basket. We used to fucking play, like draw a circle, like with like not crayon, but like with chalk,
Chalk.
like on the street, and just play like that. You know what I mean? Like you can play basketball
And
literally
you're
any
dunking the
which
shit out of
way.
the ball in that court.
Whatever, man. Fucking 4-year-old kid don't care. Matter of fact, they probably prefer that over like shooting at a real hoop because they can't reach that motherfucker. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like,
You want to hear a funny story?
what's up?
Oh no.
So back, I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. Hold up. Let me see if I
All
can.
right, let's
show
get to these super chats while he's
You see how this
Oh, never mind.
doorway is like that?
yeah.
So me
You
and my
dunking on
brother.
that? You dunking on the
So
top?
me and my
Of
brother
course.
at our old house, we was always doing dunk contests, dunking on the top, doing some crazy shit. And I have this mark right here, right? That happened because
You
I was
bumped your head on
trying.
the rim.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
OD
do
bounce.
I was gonna do a 360, and what had happened was I didn't realize where I was. I was too close to the left side of the wall. When I turned around, my forehead ran right into that wall right there and created this little indentation right here that I've been marked for life. And I was bleeding all over the place, screaming, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" And my mom was going crazy, bro.
Fire.
Damn, that's
So you lost that dunk contest.
I lost that dunk. Nah, bro. Nah. It's like a rated R movie, bro.
DNC did not
Sometimes the blood is
complete due
better.
to injury.
Because I still made it. I
Yo,
just hit
what?
the fucking wall, bro.
Eric Dupree's got a super chat for us. Prior to Bosch joining the Heat, was Bosch ever a top 5 power forward in the league in Toronto? If so, make a case for Duncan, KG, Stoudemire, Powell, and Dirk.
That's what they
03
were
to
saying.
10.
That's what they were saying.
Bro, I remember in that time, Bosch was like, they
Bosch
were
was a killer.
hyping him up to like a top 3 power forward in the league. And at one point, my memory could be, because my memory's kind of poop. At one point, Bosch was looked at as the best power forward in the NBA at one point.
I don't know about the
He was
best.
getting pushed up to the top like that.
He was definitely getting the battery pack. You know what I mean? But
Yes.
I don't know if he was ever the best. But
Right.
He was,
I'm just
he
saying
was legit,
they
man.
were pushing him like crazy. I just remember ESPN Sports Center. Like I remember hearing so much about Bosch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But
Um,
ever top 5 in the league.
I think he'll probably be in like those spots, like debatably, maybe with like Amari Stoudemire.
I think he was better than Amari Stoudemire for
Yeah.
some time for sure.
So, because I mean, I'm looking at some of the numbers he was putting up. 2006 to 2010, the dude was averaging 22, 22, 22, 22, and 24. Like he was always one of those guys. And then he was dishing the rock out like 3 assists per game. That was actually good from a power forward. So I mean, Amari Stoudemire, I think he has a good spot of being over, definitely, especially at that time.
Yeah, but Duncan, KG, Pau
Not
Gasol,
sure.
Dirk,
I don't-
like no.
Paul Gasol,
I don't know.
maybe.
I don't know about
Paul Gasol,
Amari.
maybe.
I mean, Amari was filthy, no question.
Yeah.
But I think number one, he was playing with Steve Nash.
Right.
And number two, he was playing in that D'Antoni system.
Right.
And I think if you put somebody like Bosch in the mix, like his numbers would improve.
And he can
dramatically as
extend
well.
the floor.
And he can extend the floor better
Mhm.
than Amari. And so but here's the thing, like I just think they're different players. Like
1000%.
Yeah.
Not even the same. Not even close to the same. Yeah.
And we have to also consider that, I don't want to say popularity, but just like the attention that Toronto got at the time was next to zero, right? They weren't on TV,
Right.
and the Suns were the team to knock
Right.
off whoever, the Lakers or, the Spurs or whatever. Like they were one of the teams, especially in the West, which was much better than the East at the time as well. And so everybody was paying attention to that side. And they were one of those top 5 teams that everybody paid attention to. So I think Amari got a lot of
Mar got
good clout off of it.
Yeah,
For
he got a
sure.
lot of hype.
Deserved.
Bro, you know who Amari was kind of like he was a Blake Griffin type, really. Like when you looked at his game at the time and when Blake first came into the league, like he was just that springy power forward who was going to dunk it on your head. Like he, outside of his jumping ability, like what was Amari doing? I mean, I guess he had like a back to the basket game somewhat. I mean, I guess I'm forgetting about that.
Yeah, good post
He
moves.
he might have had a better back to the basket game than Blake.
Yeah, I mean, he was given.
Speaking of Dub, you mentioned earlier portability. Bosh is, I don't think
Very
Amari
portable.
can fuck with him.
Fuck
because I remember, obviously that first year, it was a struggle and they were heavily scrutinized that first year in Miami. And everybody was, Skip going on a crazy campaign calling them Bosch Spice and all that disrespectful old shit.
Yeah.
But,
oh man, I forgot about that.
Everybody was on his head. Bro, they were calling him all kinds of names, and because his mannerisms and all that stuff, they were on his head, man. I'm just like, that's super nasty. But the thing is, that speaks to his strength is he bounced back from that. Surely it affected him, but not to the point where he completely crumbled. And then there was a point, I think it may have either been the second year or the third year, where both Wade and Braun were hurt for a minute at the end of the season, right? Or
and
they
he
were
stepped
out.
up.
And Bosch literally killed everybody, like back to back to back.
Yeah.
Lot of game winners and stuff like that. Like he was going off.
Let's not stop
I
there.
don't think when we're comparing him to Amari Stoudemire, I don't think Amari would have been capable of that.
Let's not stop there.
Even in his heyday with the Suns.
Let's not stop there. The thing I'm really so saddened about when we talk about Chris Bosh and his career, like you said, he got a lot of hate in Miami for who he was as a player because he couldn't produce the same way he was producing in Toronto because you're playing with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. That's just not going to happen. But when LeBron James left and Chris Bosh was starting to take the reins, the dude was showing up. The dude was doing his job. The dude was having some game winners and performing for our team. But the injuries and the blood clots is really what we couldn't really see how good Chris Bosh really was after that Miami Heat run because of all that. And I feel as if the Miami Heat would have been in the playoffs. They would have been making runs to the playoffs with Chris Bosh as our main guy. But we were never able to see that because of those blood clots. And I always hate that because I think out of everybody, Chris Bosh really deserved all that praise and all that love afterwards because he got a lot of disrespect during that Miami Heat run. Like Chris Bosh was going crazy, bro. Like he was going crazy after LeBron left, and it's so fucking sad. It hurts me to this day.
C Breezy, been locked in since episode 38. Y'all the goats. C Breezy, you the goat, man. Appreciate
Fire.
you. 38. That's over 140 episodes ago, almost. All right, basketball season. We are officially less than 2 weeks away from NBA tip-off season openers. But we've had some preseason games. Everyone's back, dude. Everyone's back and healthy. All these big names: Zion, Dame, Kawhi, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray.
Can we talk about Kawhi?
Absolutely, please.
Can we talk about Scoot and Vic?
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna talk about that next. I went to that game, Dub, the Clippers-Blazers game.
How was it?
Dope, man. And when I was watching PG, I was thinking about Ron's take about Devin Booker clearing PG. And then I'm watching him in person and I'm like, Paul George is nice. Like I don't think that Devin Booker is but he should not be able to do the things that he does at that height. And it's so smooth. It was insane. So yeah, Paul George looked good, Kawhi looked good, John Wall looked good, and John Wall didn't on the production side, it's a preseason game, so of course they're not going to run it up crazy. And it wasn't like John Wall was doing anything extraordinary, but just watching him on the floor, moving around in just the way that he was playing, not necessarily his production, but just watching him out there, he looked comfortable. Like the Clippers could be a lot scarier than I thought.
Clippers are for sure going to be scared, but I do want to highlight on his counterpart. People piss me off, bro. I fucking hate people. And the reason I hate people is because y'all don't apply the same energy to everybody. Kawhi Leonard is one of those figures. When we look at Kawhi Leonard and what he's done in his career, I see a lot of praise, a lot of love that Kawhi Leonard gets. But let's say if we bring up a guy like Chris Paul, you guys kill and crucify him for being hurt in the playoffs and choking in the playoffs as well. When we really dial in and look at Kawhi Leonard in his career, he won a Finals MVP as a fucking role player. Let's clarify that. When I'm judging players, I'm judging players based on what they do at their best, in their primes, in their peaks. Kawhi Leonard winning a Finals MVP in that year doesn't move the needle for me. It's the Andre Iguodala Award. Jason Kidd, when he won a ring in 2011, I didn't think of him as a greater basketball player because he won a ring. I'm judged Jason Kidd on what he did during his prime, during his peak with the Phoenix Suns and the New Jersey Nets. Andre Iguodala, when I look back in Andre Iguodala and look back to him as a player, I'm thinking about Andre Iguodala and his time as a Sixer and that time when he was a Denver Nugget. I'm not looking at anything else. I'm not looking at him as a Finals MVP. That didn't make him a better basketball player. Kawhi Leonard, him winning that Finals MVP as a role player means shit. He averaged 12 points for the season. So then when we look at Kawhi Leonard in his prime, bro, Kawhi Leonard in his prime in 2016 is when he really entered it. He went to the playoffs. In 2017, he gets hurt. In 2018, he doesn't play. In 2019, he has a historic run. I give you that. 2020, he blows a 3-1 lead. 2021, he gets hurt. In 2022, he doesn't play because he's hurt. My whole point of my argument is that y'all crucify this man, Chris Paul, for not being able to perform, blowing 3-1 leads, and all this nonsense. But you're not applying that same energy to Kawhi Leonard because he won a ring in 2019.
People are, though. They just don't mention him. Here's the thing. The reason why Chris Paul gets all of this is because people are saying that he's the greatest PG, period, whatever. You know what I mean? Greatest for general, whatever greatest, and then whatever comes after that is what Chris Paul has been, like the conversation's been about, right? Kawhi, nobody's saying he's the greatest of anything.
Perimeter defender. But
they say he's the greatest perimeter defender. But in 2016, when he was DPOY, Kevin Durant was fucking waxing his ass in 2016. And if he's
Kevin Durant, fool.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that, because you want to know something? Tony Allen and Trevor Ariza did a better job at guarding KD. You tell me Kawhi Leonard. You talking about, wait. You talking about Kawhi Leonard, who in a lot of people's eyes. Hold up. You saying Kawhi Leonard in a lot of people's eyes, who's a better defender than those guys, who's a DPOY. You tell me that those guys are doing a better job than Kawhi Leonard, who wasn't even doing as much on the offensive end?
I don't know who you've been listening to, but whenever I hear somebody say Kawhi's the greatest, the perimeter defender or whatever, like I always hear that in like immediately after or before he's the greatest two-way. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's the greatest defender who also can do the same or similar type of damage on the offensive end. Tony Allen is not that type of player. So when we talk about the greatest, like, you know what I mean, of anything that Kawhi is, he is the greatest two-way in that sense, I guess you can say.
100%.
Or whatever. That's
100%.
the argument.
He clears Scotty?
No. I'm not sure about Scott. No, maybe.
Not to me, but then again, this is Carmelo Anthony versus Draymond all over again. One is a role player and one is the main guy. Like, I don't see the comparison.
Well, in 2016, LaMarcus Aldridge was the one who was taking on the scoring load in that series. So Kawhi Leonard was the number 2 in that series. He was mainly supposed to be on defense. I think Mars said he was guarding Russell Westbrook for most of the time. But even then, if Kawhi Leonard's DPOY, you should have him on Kevin Durant the whole time. That goes to show that the coach really didn't trust him to stop Kevin Durant, in my opinion.
No, that's not.
I'm just saying. But then the whole thing with Kawhi,
if you rely on Kawhi's defense as much as you rely on Kawhi's offense, you are not putting it on the best player, because if the best player,
relying on his offense, LaMarcus Aldridge was the leading scorer.
Hold on,
he did great on Russell
Westbrook, because the chat's throwing a ton of names in here, so I want to get clarification, because I thought you guys were saying in terms of small forwards is the two-way, because they're throwing out Michael Jordan, they're throwing out Gary Payton.
Yeah,
Obviously,
of
the
course. We're
Scottie
not
Pippen.
saying that Kawhi is the greatest. I said that this is the conversation that people are having about Kawhi.
Got you. Okay, thank you for the clarification.
No,
I didn't
and
say, you know what I mean? And here go fucking.
But
You hear
you're-
that, editor? God damn it!
Oh,
but
he's
Euro,
coming for you.
you gotta
He's
understand.
coming, you know, he's
You
been
gotta
coming for me,
understand.
man.
You gotta understand where I'm coming from. I don't care where people rank in Kawhi Leonard. My thing is, if you're gonna crucify one guy for the same reasons that another guy is showing you, I expect you to apply that same energy. How many times do people bring up Kobe Bryant blowing a 3-1 lead, Tracy McGrady blowing
There's
a
another
3-1 lead?
two-way player.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant, with a Kwame Brown, Tracy McGrady, all by himself blowing a 3-1 lead with nobody.
No.
Kawhi Leonard had Paul fucking George,
We're not talking about Kwame
and he
Brown,
blew
bro.
a 3-1 lead. I'm just saying, bro. Y'all don't apply the same energy. Nobody talks about him blowing that series against the Denver Nuggets, but they want to bring it up for Tracy McGrady and Kobe Bryant. Why? Because y'all love this man. Y'all love him because he beat two of the most hated teams in NBA history, and that's the only reason, bro. Apply that same fucking energy, bro. Because y'all get on Chris Paul for not being able to play in the postseason. Because I guarantee you, if he was healthy, he would have won in 2018, and y'all want to say shit about him. But look at Kawhi
How
Leonard.
can you guarantee that?
How can you guarantee they lose?
They lost, motherfucker. What you mean?
What you mean? He wasn't
What you
healthy.
mean? They lost.
He wasn't healthy, son. That
And
if
so
he's
how
not
can
healthy,
you guarantee that if he was healthy, that they would have won?
because they was up when he was hurt. He wasn't there and they lose games. That's how how shit works, bro. That's how it works, bro.
Dove, I gotta say, I can appreciate you pushing the CP3 agenda even further because of how biased you've gotten in these last couple weeks with the CP3. This is kind of my RJ and Ja Morant bias. So I see what you're doing, and I just want to acknowledge that I respect it.
Nah, bro, it's so annoying. I think somebody even brought up Chris Paul throwing a 3-1 lead on the Clippers. Bro, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul only played 4 games in that series. Like, do you understand that? But y'all want to put that on
I still
him.
can't get over the fact that you mentioned Mama's cooking.
What?
Kawhi.
Mama's cooking?
Not Kawhi. Kwame.
Kwame?
Mama's cooking, bro. You don't remember?
No, I don't know about that, bro. We're on Kawhi Leonard. I don't want to hear about Kawhi Leonard. I don't want to hear about Kwame Brown. But that's all I gotta say.
I want to
bro.
hear about Kwame Brown.
Y'all don't keep that same energy with Kawhi Leonard. It's very frustrating, bro. So y'all need to cut that shit out.
Who is y'all?
The
Talking to the
masses
viewers.
of the NBA community is what I'm talking about. The masses of them. Y'all want to talk about Mr. Glass and y'all want to put that on AD? Look at fucking Kawhi Leonard. Look at his whole entire career. That's Mr. Glass. If we're gonna be nasty, we're gonna be real.
Bro, nobody ever disputed the fact that Kawhi is God tier when it comes to load management and not playing games.
Okay?
Everybody's saying this about him. Look, all the drafts that we had, all of the discussions that we had about, like, oh, are we considering Kawhi or not? Does he even qualify for us to be talking about him? This is always
That's what
like
we
the
talk
caveat.
about.
That's what I'm saying. This
That's
is
not
like,
what the
but we're
NBA community talks about.
Yes, they do.
When we had
because
the
we're part of the
fucking
basketball community, and then the chat doesn't go like they don't throw up their arms like, yo, how dare you guys do this and shit like that, because everybody agrees.
bro, when we had that Kawhi thing,
even if they
when we
don't
had
talk
that
about
Kawhi Leonard take on TikTok go viral, all I see is love and praise and everybody on this man's meat, all in them damn comments. Why? He doesn't play in the playoffs. He has one crazy run, amazing run. I give it to you that. He won as a fucking role player. Understand that. A role player. That don't move the bar for anybody. Cut that shit out, bro. It pisses me off. Do you know how hard it is to win a chip? Like, health is a very underrated factor on why people win. Very underrated. You have to be healthy at that. But y'all want to crucify Chris Paul.
I think everybody agrees that you need to be
Everybody
healthy.
would agree, but they don't apply that same fucking energy, Euro. They never do. They look at oh, CP3, he's a choker. He loses all the time. But they're not gonna put in the context him or his teammates are always fucking hurt. And that's the shit that pisses me off. Fucking guys, bro. Y'all got me fucking heated just thinking about these fucking people, bro.
I don't even know who you're talking about, to be honest.
It's the NBA community, bro.
Like, I don't see this, so
You don't see it?
taking out his anger.
I
on
don't
these
really
fucking
read.
pedal
I don't
baits.
really
That's
go
crazy.
in reading
Yo,
comments like that.
It's
so.
not about comments. It's just I could go scroll on my TikTok. CP zero
TikTok.
rings. CP zero rings, bro. I'll be on Twitter. Oh, he's a folder. He's a choker. He's always hurting the playoffs. I have folks, even sports fluent. Oh well, if you're not able to perform in the playoffs, not being able to be there in the playoffs, I have to knock you. Then knock fucking Kawhi Leonard, motherfuckers.
But he has a championship, so you can't really do it.
And that's it. Thank you for saying that. I hate that argument.
Chris Paul would have a championship if Giannis was hurt in the finals as well, but
you can't say that though.
I mean, I can because Kawhi has a championship because KD and Klay.
But Kawhi has a championship because he has a championship.
People he has
not have championships. You can't just say
Kawhi has a different end. Kawhi has a different end of the same fortune cookie that Chris Paul has. Chris Paul hasn't won because of injuries. Kawhi Leonard had the fortune of coming up against the finals opponent that was much superior, and they were hurt. That is why he has the same championship, which Chris Paul is lacking, and that's the only reason people have Kawhi over Chris Paul when you should have Chris Paul over Kawhi realistically, in my opinion.
You definitely should, bro.
He's done it. He's done it for much longer, and I'd argue at his peak, he's at least on the same level as a player.
And then they say he falls off in the playoffs. What falls off? His playoff stats are fucking remarkable.
Wait, hold on. Now you really got me thinking. Because
I have Chris Paul over Kawhi.
There
it's been like 15 years.
There actually is a
Kawhi
good argument in terms of their basketball playing abilities. Chris Paul over Kawhi. I was a little baffled at it.
As a player in general? Like you mean in the GOAT list?
Damn.
In the list.
That's hard. That's actually kind of hard to disagree with. You could have it either way. I don't care if you have Kawhi over CP3 or I guess now I don't care that you have CP3 over Kawhi because really thinking about it, Chris Paul's a top 3. Is that fair? For sure, top 5 point guard to ever play in the NBA.
I got him top 3, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, it's not crazy to say top 3 to me. Chris Paul's, man, I want to hear what Ron has to say. We have to hear this. We have to hear this. Ron, please tell me you've been listening.
I have not.
Okay. We just got on Chris Paul in totality. Basketball player clears Kawhi.
I didn't say
when
clears,
you look at his career, okay, we say clear because it's more dramatic. You can rank CP3.
Clears.
Yeah, clears. You can rank CP3 over Kawhi. Is that crazy to say?
I think it's blasphemy. I think you talking straight out the back of your ass if you say that. But check this out,
wait, where's the front of your ass?
You don't want to know that one.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, my bad.
But check this out though. If you're talking about longevity and just ability to sustain a career, obviously Chris Paul's played what 17. This is
year 18. I think
this year 18. So, like that's if you want to put it into that little lens, yeah, Chris Paul clears Kawhi. But now when we get to breaking down accolades and you as a player and what you've done, bro, Kawhi wipes Chris Paul.
Accolades?
Kawhi's more accomplished than Chris Paul.
He's not more accomplished at all.
Yeah.
What you mean is Kawhi has 2 rings, right? Because
2 rings, 2 defensive player of the years, first teams, you can get into all of that. Kawhi has that too.
Chris Paul has way more All NBAs,
way more All
All-Star selections, more assists.
Yes, I think he has 5 top 5 MVP
When was
votes.
Kawhi drafted and when was Chris Paul drafted? Because that's
why we're saying as of right now. We're not gonna say 10 years from now it might be different. No, Kawhi plays another 10 years and gets those accolades, is a different story. But as of today, Chris Paul's way more accomplished.
As of nah,
come on, bro.
12 times.
All right, so now because now we're gonna play this game since he's more accomplished. Mars, whose career would you rather have?
Oh, I'd rather have Kawhi's.
Okay, then. So like,
hold on.
Come on.
Forget the career thing. Let's talk about just basketball player. Can you still say that CP3 clears Kawhi as a basketball player? Because that's where I'm looking at it. Like, I actually don't think that's crazy.
In Mars's light, like when you strip all accolades.
Yes.
No.
I feel like that's not that crazy,
bro.
No.
I think they're at work. I think they're in the same tier.
Definitely in the same.
Ron. Hold on, Ron. CP3 ranks higher all time in his position than I think Kawhi Leonard at the end of his career will rank in his position. That might not be fair to say.
It might
like
not be
it's
fair
kind
to
of
say,
you're kind of it's kind of a little context.
I think around the same realm because I still don't have Chris Paul top 5. So it's like,
and I just think that's the most blasphemous thing, bro.
If you do, it's at 5 or 4.
Let me ask you this: besides Magic and Steph, strip all the fucking accolades. Who the hell's better than Chris Paul?
I'm gonna say a guy that you guys hate for me to say. So let's just skip past
Russell
the
Westbrook.
obvious one.
Okay, let's
skip past the obvious
1980s.
Yeah, I thought you were about to say fucking Trey.
Nah.
If you said that, Ron, I would have just ended the show.
I mean,
That would have been ridiculous.
Euro, you want to go home early?
Oh my God.
You know,
Ron
you
shows
do
up for
the
5
one
minutes
in practice
and
where
then-
coach is like, if you make this shot, everybody gets to go home early. But nah,
Kawhi does more things better. What
He
the
does.
fuck are you talking
He
about?
does, bro. He does.
How?
He does.
He scores probably better, which
Scores better.
CP3 is not a
Better-
bad scorer. He's
better
he's a
score.
better defender, where
Yes.
CP3 is not a bad defender as well.
Better
So then,
rebounder.
what are we gonna look at? What we go?
Better rebounder. He is, bro. What
are
do you
you
want me to? You
are
want
you
me to say he's not? He's
How many
6'8".
rebounds does he? How many? How? Are you
6'8".
fucking serious right
Come
now?
on.
Kawhi for his career averages 6.5 rebounds.
Yeah, he averages 6.5 rebounds.
Hey,
bro.
we don't care about rebounds. What are we
Like, who
doing?
cares about 6 boards, bro?
Next.
Like, come on, son.
But,
Next.
bro, I'm not gonna sit here and act like rebound is not an intricate part of basketball, but we can move on to the next thing.
Chris Paul clears him as a passer, clears him as a
Oh, without a
playmaker.
doubt, without a doubt. We don't even have to go into that.
What are those shooting?
Clears him as a
percentages
floor
looking like?
raiser as well.
You could argue Chris Paul's a better shooter than Kawhi.
That's what I'm.
You could
that's
also
because
argue he's better from the mid range than Kawhi.
But at the same
That
time,
one's tough.
it's very
It
close.
is tough.
They're both
Yeah,
elite.
either
at
way
it.
it goes is close. And Kawhi really improved his 3-point shooting to really make that one a little closer too.
Yeah, but the only thing where I'd say it's not close at all would be the passing and playmaking, where Chris Paul clears.
Okay,
As a
Chris Paul clears.
defender, Kawhi obviously is the better defender, but Chris Paul's an all-time great point guard defensively.
Nah, without a doubt.
All
I'm
right.
not gonna lie. It's actually fairly close. But
I just looked at the
mean,
numbers. I think you could say with certainty that Kawhi is a better shooter from everywhere on the floor than Chris Paul.
Everywhere.
I don't know if he's a better shooter from mid-range, but
I didn't look at that.
Kawhi's
But
I think he
fairly
might get
efficient scorer.
3-point. I think he might get
yeah,
3-point.
free point you can have because Kawhi had a year where he shot 45%. So
yeah, that's
Mhm.
nuts. That
but
is absolutely nuts.
Mid-range, I
I'm
think, is
probably
close,
going with Chris
bro.
Paul.
But here's my thing: why you can't say Chris Paul just clears Kawhi, and why it's just something that you don't think about, because it's like when you build a team, who are you going to choose as your number one option, or who would you like? You got to draft, and the next 2 best players on the board is Chris Paul and Kawhi.
All right, let me ask you this.
Both at their best. Can I guarantee? Both of them are unhealthy. I'm taking Chris Paul.
Yeah, but check this out, though.
Ron, this is a nasty context, man,
no,
because you're
because
taking
it-
Kawhi for sure.
Exactly my point. In a shorter
But-
stint, and with Kawhi being unhealthy, he got 2 rings.
Let me ask you. Oh my God, he
Chris
got
Paul-
2
Chris
rings
Paul
as a
never-
role player.
Need
If you want to
one
include
ring.
Toronto,
Yeah,
we can
one-
include
one-
Toronto.
he's
got
one
ring
he's
as a
on-
role player.
One,
He got
he's on
one
San
as a role
Antonio.
Oh,
player.
one. My bad. One.
But he got Finals MVP, so he performed the best on that stage.
He performed great. It's the Andre Iguodala Award, bro. You
The
don't
whole-
sit here
the
and
whole
think that
team-
Andre
the whole
Iguodala
team
is a
performed
great.
He got the award for the same reason Iggy got the award, which is because he played defense on LeBron. That's why he got the award. The whole team played well. If you could give a team Finals MVP, you give it to the 2014 Spurs.
So when we break that down, who led them in scoring during that series?
In that series, I think it was
I
Kawhi.
think it was Kawhi. I think 16 points a game.
Ah,
16 points a game.
who
That
led
means
the defensive
everybody.
win
That
share?
means everybody's putting in work.
Defensive win shares, Jesus Christ.
I mean, who took the hardest assignment?
Technically, Tony Parker averaged 18 and Kawhi averaged 17.8. Technically,
Who took the hardest assignment?
technically, Tony Parker averaged 18 and Kawhi averaged 17.8.
Okay, who took the hardest assignment?
Yeah, Kawhi guarded LeBron.
Okay, and can we go look at Chris Paul's?
Yeah,
final stats?
Kawhi guarded LeBron to 28 a game on 57, 52, 79 splits. That's Finals MVP performance. I'm not gonna
Nah,
lie.
but check this out though. Check this
Finals
out.
MVP performance right
Check
there.
this out though, because it got the same thing. but we're not gonna do
68%
that,
true
though.
shooting.
Mars,
Is a
no,
Finals
because-
MVP.
because you know
Mars,
when
how
you're-
you be looking up these stats, bro?
When you're guarding LeBron,
These are basketball
you
references.
Show me
know.
your ways, Mars.
I need to know this shit.
68% true shooting, 28 a game. Kawhi averaged the second most points on his team, but he was just a clear-cut Finals MVP.
I'm telling you, because it was in totality. It's not just because.
No,
of
I
one
agree.
thing.
He does. I agree. He deserved
Like,
the Finals
nobody's
MVP.
saying
I'm
he
just
doesn't-
saying it was close. That's what I'm
Nobody's saying that he didn't deserve Finals MVP in that year, Ron. That's
Yeah,
where you
that's
get
what-
him in
that's
Mr.
what I'm-
Shooter.
yeah,
All
he deserved
all that
it.
we're saying is that we're not going to sit here and look at Kawhi Leonard in a as a better basketball player just because he won a Finals MVP when he wasn't even
So then let's go
performing
to
at
the
his
second
best.
one. Let's go to the second
He
one
played
and run
great.
through that whole
Yeah,
and
he
run
was
through that.
great.
Yo, because Chris Paul, I'm sure he's had teams that were of a similar dynamic as Toronto.
They got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Now I'm about to ether y'all. Yeah, because I was on that show with him yesterday. Now I'm finna take y'all straight to Etherland because Chris Paul played for the Suns, right?
Yeah.
He had Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder. They went to the finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can say the same thing about Kawhi. It was in a it was the conference was down, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's people were injured, things of that nature.
I say that all the time.
They had so they had an easier route to the finals.
I say that all the time.
Right?
It's fun.
Now check this out. They get there, they go up 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
If Kawhi goes up 2-0, you put Kawhi on that Suns team, they go up 2-0, Cameron Payne can run a point guard. I don't care.
I saw Kawhi up 3-1 on Jokic, who wasn't even MVP level yet, and lose.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, this is
the only time I've seen Kawhi get it done is when the Warriors are dismantled by injuries and KD plays 11 minutes.
So and let's not forget CP3's out of his time, bro.
If Giannis gets hurt against the Suns, you think Chris Paul can't win that series?
What about one of the biggest shots in NBA history? In Philadelphia.
The one that was where he
traveled. the one where
he traveled. That's a great shot.
That's one of the biggest
It's a great
shots
travel.
ever.
It was a great travel.
I don't care.
But Ron, this is a nasty context, Ben, because you're looking at a Chris Paul who, me in my personal opinion, this is Chris Paul outside of his best version of himself.
Look, bro, I'm looking at
Kawhi Leonard. You're looking at Kawhi Leonard and the best version of himself and putting it there. Is CP3 in the best version of himself on that fucking Phoenix Suns team? He's not blowing a 2-0 lead, bro.
He's not. Didn't have a chance to even go up 2-0 because he couldn't get there.
Bozos, I agree with Nilesh. He says these guys don't know basketball. I agree. They don't. I do, though. Carry on.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that.
I was just trying to transition into these.
I've been reading his comments and shit. Is funny because he went from like top left is an idiot to like top right is an idiot, and then he's just like, "Fuck it, none of these guys know basketball.
All these guys are idiots." Football breaks down.
Nah, but these are the uncomfortable truths that people have to accept, bro. This is just the truth about Kawhi Leonard. If you're mad at it, just go look at some history and look what happened, and then you'll figure out that what we're saying is true. Don't be caught up in your emotions, bro. It is what it is.
Man,
let's hit these super chats. Football breakdown. Go ahead,
Ron.
Ron.
Your favorite players. The only person that I know that's beat all of your favorite players in the playoffs.
And that's why people hold him to this standard. For that fucking reason right there. He beat two of the most hated players, and that's the only reason.
Where are we supposed to send him? Or where are we supposed to like
to the ether?
Where are we supposed to put him at?
I mean, you said if he wins another title, he's pushing top 10.
No, but see, you guys, I said he's pushing 10. When I said that, I meant like anywhere from 11 to 15. Kawhi's not gonna be top 10. But check this out.
Where's KD?
KD for me, he's in that lower teens range, like upper teens, should I say, like 18, 19, 20, somewhere in there.
So Kawhi would be over KD.
If Kawhi got 3 championships, 3 finals MVPs, not on super teams. See, y'all about to make me get on my ticket, and I don't want to do this. Where he didn't stack the deck. 3 finals MVPs.
He did stack the deck, bro. He got the Clippers. What? That's what he went to the Clippers for, to stack the deck.
You can say the Clippers are stacked, but 2 before that and 1 with the stacked deck. So I'll give you that. The Clippers may be stacked.
I don't know how this 2014 ring is just being put on the same level as regular rings.
Because he got finals MVP.
You know there's 3 rounds of the playoffs before the finals and a whole regular season, right?
Okay, well then if that's the case, some of Steph's rings don't count too.
What?
Hold on.
What?
Hold on. No.
It's nowhere near each other, bro.
How's that comparable?
Let's move.
If you can tell me how that's comparable, that's cool.
Because you just said Kawhi was the second best player on his team, right? Or he averaged the second most points.
No, I said I don't know
Steph
how
averaged
that's
the second
comparable.
most points during 2 finals too.
Okay.
What about for the season, Ron, is what he's saying, and the postseason, what they were doing.
Yeah, there's more than one series that contributes
defines
to winning
a player. It's more than one series that defines a player,
okay,
bro.
I mean, I'm saying
so being the Finals MVP doesn't mean you just get that ring counted the same as someone like a LeBron James in Miami, the same you get it compared to a Kobe Bryant in 2009, just because he won the Finals MVP. There's levels to it. That's it's bottom tier. Yeah, that's bottom tier.
Kawhi was still growing as a player.
Yeah, that's cool. He was growing, but that's bottom tier of championship level players. No, I'm not
Because,
saying
like,
strip the ring.
how
You're
I
saying
can
3
say,
rings, 3
no, but-
finals
but
MVPs. There's
no.
context.
No, it's absolute context. But then when I bring everything into full light and I say on the ultimate stage in the world, the pinnacle of basketball, he performed twice.
Oh
Chris
my
Paul
God.
went there, was up twice. In what happened?
Twice.
He was up 2-0.
Twice.
No,
In the finals?
Oh, he went up 1-0 and then went up 2-0. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then
And Kawhi blew a 3-1 lead
okay,
with
and
nobody
Kawhi still
hurt.
got 2 Finals MVPs.
All right,
what are we doing?
Chris Paul's blown leads too.
Okay, we're off
Career.
And I think Chris Paul played very well in the 2021
Chris Paul
finals,
has been a notorious choker. He's underachieved throughout his whole career for somebody who you guys have said since 2007 is the clear-cut best point guard in the NBA.
That's a lie.
What
Kawhi
years
That's
did
a
you
lie.
expect him
Kawhi
to
has-
win?
What?
What years did you expect him to win where he played the whole series and no one on his team got hurt? What year was that the case? 2008, he lost to the Spurs. You expect him to beat the Spurs?
And that's my fucking point with Chris Paul. What years do we expect him to win? It's been plenty of years where we have expected Kawhi to win because we know how great Kawhi is.
And he hasn't won when he's been expected to win.
Yo, okay. The chat is going crazy with the I would smoke this guy in a debate. This guy doesn't know basketball. That guy doesn't know basketball. I'm bringing people up today, and
Let's
you
do it.
are joining. You are clicking the link if you're talking shit in the comments because I want to see if you can debate.
I'm
like
smoking that chat pack today.
you'll smoke me. That's fine. But just sitting there in the comments typing crazy shit, I can't wait to hear you. Oh my God! And I hope that you come up here and smoke some of these guys. But oh my God, we're bringing people up today, but we got to get to these super chats, and I want to talk about Victor Wembanyama before we bring people up because this is gonna get crazy. Football breakdown: Kawhi joined Toronto after their most wins ever. He sent another one. CP3's skill set is tougher to find. Lyndon, Kawhi has been a top 5 player more than CP3. That's a nice little context, Ben.
That's not true at
It's
all.
a nice little context, Ben, though. CP3 doesn't
It's a nice
elevate in the
lie.
playoffs like Kawhi.
That's a lie as well.
Drink more water. Mars, using your Draymond is better than Mellow Logic. Who's better, CP3 or Drew Holiday, since CP3 is a floor raiser and Drew's a ceiling raiser?
Chris Paul.
Lyndon with the super chat. This Dub and Mars duo is so nasty. Logan.
I told y'all not to do that pairing. I
There you
told
go,
you
Ron.
Look at y'all. Shambles. Phoenix
Ron's
Suns.
spitting
Chris
facts
Paul,
right now, says
Devin
Logan.
Booker.
Chris Paul.
Devin Booker.
Ron, you know you're getting fried right now, right?
I suppose.
The only reason people agree with you, Ron, is because Kawhi has rings.
And that's it. It's the finals.
They're
Ron,
the
this is
accolade
what it
merchants.
is.
They know
the
he won the
accolade
rings.
merchants is
we-
real.
I did
Is that the only thing that you care about?
If they
Morris?
listen to what people are actually saying, they would know me and Double.
But you know
they
this
don't
is
care
not
about
what Player Choice is about. Don't nobody fucking listen to what the
Yeah,
fuck
of
we
course
say.
they don't. They just
They
have
just
their opinion.
see
This
the
is
little
what-
buzzword and they say, what?
Yo,
This is
this
so
goes-
crazy in the chat.
Listen, this goes to what Mars said the other
Chris
time.
Paul,
Y'all look
Mars.
at accolades and think that
Listen.
makes you a better basketball player, which it doesn't. Ron, all I'm hearing is Finals MVP this, Finals
stripped
MVP
all the
that.
accolades.
What about their games, bro? What about their
stripped
games?
it.
You
All right,
stripped it.
Let's
We
go to
were
Paul's
talking
best
about it,
ring.
and there was nothing that was said.
We already
Let's go to
talked
Chris
this.
Paul's
Dub,
best
if you
year,
have
let's
to
go to
after the
Kawhi's
show
best
rewind and hear what he said, we're here. We have to move. We're
I
moving.
said he clears them in scoring,
We're
defense,
moving.
rebounding. Y'all got mad when I said rebounding.
Yeah, I was a little.
I never got mad at rebounds.
All right,
I think
Lyndon.
rebound amounts.
Just wondering, when has CP3 been a top 5 player?
And that's a fact. Well,
You could
it might have
argue
been some
any of
he
those
was
years
top
from like
five.
08 to like 2014, he was a top 5 player. Any of those years, you could argue that.
You could argue that.
Christy Ela Miguel. Kawhi wins when it matters most. If he lost in 2019, you guys would hold it against him. Manu, Duncan, and Parker were washed in 2014. Give credit.
If he lost to a Golden State team that looked like that, yes, I would hold it against them, and they weren't washed.
Football Breakdown said no one talks about that missed free throw.
What missed free throw?
2013, Kawhi Leonard, Game 6, he missed a free throw just like Manu Ginobili, and that's why Ray Allen got to hit that
And,
shot.
on,
the
and on
Wiz
top of
kid,
that,
no.
and on top of that, he really should have two rings or 3 rings too.
Who?
But
Well, if he didn't choke, maybe he would, but he choked. So,
and if Chris Paul didn't choke, he'd have 1.
cool, so they're both chokers.
If Chris Paul wasn't hurt, he would have beaten the best fucking team in fucking NBA history. We're gonna be real, motherfucker.
Big Ron said Dub's got a man crush on CP3. Cammy
Shout out Big
Kong
Ron.
said Toronto swept the Warriors that season, beat them in the finals with or without injuries. Toronto was winning. All right.
Using regular season.
Now, let's get to last night. Victor Wembanyama, Scoot Henderson duking it out. This is what Victor Wembanyama put up last night. 37 points, went 11 from 20 from the field, 7 for 11 from 3, 4 boards. Scoot Henderson, 28, 11 for 21, 2 for 3 from the 3, 5 boards, 9 assists. Did anyone I watched the highlights last night because I was out and about. Like, came back and immediately threw that on. My initial thoughts was, bro, Victor Wembanyama is out here looking like a taller Kevin Durant. Like, it's crazy. And he should not be moving as fluid and as gracefully as he does. That is the most insane to me. The way that he just doesn't look uncoordinated and like, I don't know what I'm trying to, like he doesn't fit out there. I don't know. Like, it doesn't look awkward.
Yeah.
It's
He's
crazy.
just fluid.
Yeah. And Scoot, this is how much of casual I am. I had no idea who Scoot Henderson was. Watching him last night, only 18 years old. Obviously, he has a talent to score
Both
the
of them
basketball.
18.
Yeah, that's insane. He's going to be a talented scorer, can get to the rack, can shoot the ball. I mean, yeah, these two that was insane. But did you guys actually watch the whole game?
Yeah, I watched it. As far as Vic, I mean, I paid attention to overseas basketball, and of course, he was playing with Osville at one point, which is a EuroLeague team. So this is Tony Parker's team, by the way. Tony Parker's brother is the coach, and I mean, I wasn't surprised by what I saw yesterday. I mean, he's been him, like, he's been doing this, you know what I mean? So it's just dope to see that everybody's so excited for a player like that, and it actually feels a lot more like a reality, you know what I mean? Because, like, there's a lot of kids, coming out of high school or whatever, that are supposed to be all these, top prospects that get all of this attention, all of this hype or whatever, but you don't really know for sure. I think with Vic, though, like, his game will definitely translate to the league. I don't think, of course, every basketball player at all times, it doesn't matter if you're LeBron James or if you're Victor Wembanyama, you have to improve, right, at every single thing that you do. But and the only thing that I say would be like the biggest adjustment for him going to the league is just when he gets beat on the perimeter. And here we are again with the perimeter defense, Mars. I'm not saying he's a bad defender at all, but I think that part of his defensive strength is being able to clean somebody off the backboard, once he's chasing them. And so overseas, the court is a lot smaller. Plus, he has the advantage that, his help side defense can stay in the paint however long they want. And so for the guy that beats him off the dribble, that he can very well just be like, you know what, go ahead, take this lane, because I know I'm going to be able to block you, at the rim from behind. I don't think that is going to be as easy in the league because the court is bigger and because help side defense isn't right there. Like, they actually have to move in. And you have better athletes in the league as well. So I think that's going to be his biggest adjustment, but I don't think it's a problem at all. Like, it's just a matter of getting used to it. So gaining some weight, and it's going to be fun for sure.
Bro, trying to gain weight at 7'4" just sounds miserable. Like, how many calories you have to consume to
it'll come naturally,
put a pound
man.
on?
Your body will eventually catch up. I don't think as skinny as he is and as frail looking as he is, I don't think he's a pushover. Because when you see, like, people trying to put him in a post, or even when he's in a post, right, and they, like, try to muscle him or whatever,
right?
That's not doing anything to him. Like, yes,
right. It looks like he has a solid foundation.
He looks like the inflatable thing in front of a car dealership sometimes, but he still holds his position, and then he's so long it doesn't matter. Like, he can get to the fucking, he can get to the to the circle, and he just turn around and just dunk it on your head. Like, I don't see a lot of flaws in his game. And flaws, what I mean by that is flaws that can't be worked on.
Right.
And, he can make those, like,
glaring concerns.
Yeah, and as far as Scoot, he's ready.
Yeah, man.
He reminds me of Ja Morant, but he has a better jump shot coming in.
Yeah.
So But I like Vic. I think from what I've seen, like I saw what I could yesterday, and I did watch what I could of him last season. His offensive game isn't as good as it looked yesterday. That's unsustainable. He doesn't shoot that well. He has the potential, but that was an outlier game. I think he moved to the team he was at last year was obviously a much better team, so he wasn't featured as much. Whereas now I think he has more freedom to experiment and play his game how he wants. But I think in terms of his offensive game, I don't think he's not that polished yet, but obviously that will come with time. I think his jump shot, even though he made 7 threes, it looks like I don't know how to say it. It looks like it's different every time he releases it. And I think that's because of his height. Like some shots look a lot flatter than others. And I think it's because he's so tall when he releases it. Sometimes, like even if you look at his free throws, it looks like he's pushing the ball too high for someone his height. And it's just, it doesn't make sense when I'm trying to explain it without
No,
watching it.
let me ask you this though. Do you think his shot is different on every shot, or do you think he has a shot for a free throw, then he has a shot for a turnaround, then he has a shot for a three, and you know what I mean? Where he has that same like mechanics and that same release with each specific, you know what I mean, movement and area of the court.
I can
Or do
see
you
that,
think
but
his shot is just all over
even
the
with
place?
if you look at his threes yesterday, they were all not all, but they all looked different in some way in terms of the arc they had on them. And I think that's just because of how tall he is. The ball's going to take different trajectories to the rim, which I think can raise some questions about the consistency he's going to have from there, just because he's such a big body that shooting is always going to be tougher for the taller guys. And he's got very big hands. So it's just getting the ball like off your fingertips at the right angle consistently might be a bigger problem for him. And I think his handle is very good for a guy his size, but obviously it's similar to the KD effect. He has a great handle for his size, but in the NBA with better defenders, putting the ball on the floor with that much distance to go between your hand and the floor is still going to be a bit of a looser handle, and it's going to be something that you don't want to go to consistently.
Right.
So I
But
think his offensive game isn't as good as it looks right now.
I mean, I agree. You know, you put a player, regardless of who he is, if he's tall, if he's short, or whatever, if he's ready for the NBA, right, and he has only been playing at a lesser level, of course, you know what I mean, it's not going to be immediately like, oh, he's going to cook the best NBA defender type of shit. But I feel like the foundation, right, like his handle at that height, he's only going to improve. And
Yeah,
so
he has
like,
every
and
tool.
so,
He
and the
has
thing
every
is,
tool.
right. And so the thing is, it's not so much an improvement because you can be a horrible, like, you know, like with Shaq, for example, right? Horrible free throw shooter. He can improve, but is he going to be a great free throw shooter? Never. Just because of the way that he's holding the ball, how he's shooting the ball, et cetera, et cetera. Vic, his basketball skills, like, you know, from top to bottom, they are already good or better than good. And so like his improvement curve, right, is going to be is going to come much quicker, and it's going to be a lot steeper than a lot of other guys. And so I am not at all worried that, you know, he's not going to be able to, like, I don't necessarily agree with how you said it, Mars. I understand what you mean, but I don't think I agree with that fully.
I mean, I said when we did the top 10 players under, what was it, 24, like a couple episodes ago, I said Victor Wembanyama should be top 2 right now. I think going forward next 10 years, Victor Wembanyama, besides Luka Doncic, I think he's going to be the best prospect we have. But
Yo,
I am
I
just
would
a
love
bit
to go
concerned
back.
about straight away his offense.
I would love to go back and do that list and actually put him somewhere in there. Mars, I do remember you saying his name, but Vic is crazy. But I'm not even gonna get into Vic just yet. I want to talk about Scoot. JD, I was kind of there with you. Like I knew who Scoot was, but I hadn't watched him play too much. This is the first time I actually watched him play, and Scoot for sure impressed me. And it was really a couple of the finishes that he finished around the hoop with Victor down there. Because I have watched Victor a lot. I watched him in the EuroLeague last year and have just been paying attention to him a lot more because he's just been featured around more. But the way Scoot was able to finish in there around him, because I've seen Victor send numerous shots. He did it last night, send numerous shots to half court, out of bounds, off the backboard. He's one of the best young shot blockers I've seen. And the way he was able to maneuver in there with him, that was amazing. Had a couple different times where he made some crazy dribble moves, couple step backs and things of that nature. So Scoot actually got game. But in terms of Victor, I mean, bro, and you guys throw some names out there because I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But
You mean player comp?
No, not player comps. I'm talking about like hype around prospects coming into the league.
Mm.
I
Oh,
think he's one of the best prospects I've seen since 2003.
no.
From a scout's perspective, maybe,
From
but in
from
terms of hype, I don't think so. Because
Yeah.
I
No,
think Zion was more hyped
well,
than
I,
Brigitte.
I
sure.
I think
Sebastian
Zion.
Telfair was more hyped.
Hold
For
on,
sure.
no.
Yeah, he
Dude,
doesn't have the
Wembanyama-
hype, but I think
Wembanyama's
from a
not really
scout's
getting the
perspective.
juice. He's not really getting the juice like these guys were getting. Like he's
Mhm.
getting pretty decent social media. Like there's traction there, but it's not like, oh my, because he's so much more like, I want to say fundamental, and it's not crazy like freak ability. I mean, it technically
Yeah,
is
it
freak
is,
ability because
bro.
he shouldn't be
Every
doing this,
time I
but
see
it's
him
not,
on the
you know what
court,
I'm saying? It's not like something that is going to go like Zion viral. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I'm more so. I get what you guys are saying. I'm more so talking about from a scout's perspective, like Mars said. I remember 2 years ago, I was looking at like a mock draft arena article. The dude said if everybody was put into the draft right now, everybody basically 18 and younger, Victor would for sure be the number one pick. This is
Yeah.
with Chet. This was with I want to say Cade was still in there too. It was Vic at a young, I think it was 16. And they were basically saying at that point he was the best prospect. That was around the time where him and Rudy had played one-on-one, and he was,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
cooking Rudy. And then so like from in terms of that and just watching him, I don't know if I've seen a prospect that has been coming into the draft that is more complete than Victor. And I mean it's crazy to say, but we can go down the list.
He's not
And
more complete than Scoot.
you said what?
Hold on. You said he's a more complete prospect than who?
Then bro, I'm dating back. Like I'm talking about like you can go to Zion, you can go to John Wall, you can go to Karl Anthony Towns, you can go all the way back to. I mean, bro, I'm thinking like.
I
Bro,
think
I'm
the
thinking-
You want to
intrigue
go
with-
all the way back to LeBron, don't you?
Yeah,
I think
bro,
the
I'm trying to
intrigue
think.
with Wembanyama is potential, not what he can do.
It's
right
1000% potential.
Because
No,
right now, he's not going to come in 20, 12, and 4 blocks, but the potential he has to be the best defender in the NBA with an offensive game, like the comparison I hear a lot is Porzingis offense, Rudy Gobert defense put into one.
Bro, but
That's what I
he's-
see, but I think that's what intrigues people because of the
he's
height and what he
way
can do.
he's way better with the basketball already than Porzingis putting the
I
ball on
agree.
the floor, and
The-
just his comfortability looks so like I posted I posted some shit on Twitter yesterday responding to Ball Don't Stop because he said that Scoot Henderson is more NBA ready right now because he's a perimeter player and like his game is at the perimeter. And I know I was kind of trolling because it was just a clip of Victor Wembanyama coming off a screen and splashing a three, and I was like, this will be fun to just go in there. And then someone was like, you guys killed Porzingis for doing this. I'm like, bro, if you look at him compared to Porzingis, they're not the same.
Yeah.
But
I'm not
you
mad
want to
at the
compare
Porzingis
My-
comparison. I'm not mad at that.
My biggest thing though with Wembanyama is who is he going to go to? Because hopefully the NBA does their little, dark magic behind the scenes and really places him with a team that can do something with him in terms of like his development. Because clearly, that's an international star that I don't think they can afford to not have, and they
Yeah.
should put all their eggs in that basket, put a lot of stock in it, just for the betterment of the league, for the betterment of the sport and stuff like that. And so I would hate for him to like end up with Utah.
I
or
think
some shit
it's
like that.
destiny for the Spurs. I think the Spurs are destined to get him.
Yeah,
That's what I'm predicting.
I'm not mad at that.
I've been hearing the Spurs too. Him and Pop. All right, you know what
I'm not mad at
turned
that.
into.
I'd be very disappointed if he ends up like even in Houston. I just don't think they
Yikes.
develop him correctly
Or
with
fucking
guys like
Indiana or something like that.
Or Sacramento.
I'm not mad at Houston. Vic and Jalen Green.
Yeah,
that-
but
No,
you're looking at
I'd love
players.
to watch it, but from a
You're
development
looking at the
standpoint,
players,
I'm
right,
not-
right.
I'm not.
yeah.
Plus,
Yeah,
with
that's what I
Sengun
mean. That's
there,
what I mean. Like-
Garuba, they've got a lot of bigs. I think
Right.
You
Well,
send
like
him
when
to
you
the Spurs.
when you compare it to Scoot, right? Like I think Scoot will be okay with any team, really. You know what I'm saying? But somebody like Vic, that's a special type of talent that you have to take extreme care of, and you can't just have him with a random ass franchise. in my opinion.
No,
I
I
agree
get
with that.
you. And then, but I mean, what I disagree with is with Mars. Now, I'm not gonna say that Vic could come in the league and average 25 and 13 right now. But after watching him last night, and maybe I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but I even watched him all last year. And every time Victor comes on the floor, he has a crazy impact on both ends of the floor. His shot making on offense is crazy. On top of that, his ability to get offensive rebounds, tip dunks, and just as an alley-oop threat without the ball is, a talent in and of itself. So if you have somebody else that is a good ball handler around him and that can get in the paint and throw him oops or dump it off to him, he's going to eat off that all day. So I'm like, I'm just thinking if you place him in the NBA right now, I think he can easily right now today average 18, 19. And the rebounds, rebound is not really his strength. It hasn't really been his forte. Me looking at his game, he only had 7 rebounds last night. And I haven't really seen him rebound at a crazy clip. But I'm assuming that'll come with strength too. But I think he could easily average 18, 19.
He only had 4 rebounds last night.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I don't
effort,
know.
man. He just crashed the board and he's 7'4". Like, he'll be able to snag some. I'm not really worried about that because those 4 can turn into 8 real quick.
Right.
That's true. Plus, he was on the perimeter a lot. He gets a lot of offensive rebounds, but when you're
Yeah.
out on the 3-point line, that's going to take away from obviously getting rebounds on the offensive glass. So
Yeah.
you don't really put too much stock in that, in my opinion.
All right, bozos, it's time to come up here and debate. You guys wanted it. You've been talking trash for an hour and a half. Come put your money where your mouth is. Come debate Dub, Euro, Ron, and Mars. I'm just going to sit here and egg everybody on.
Oh, so you scared, huh?
What if they want to debate you?
Then I'm just going to kick him from the call. So
Jimmy Two Shoes saying, JD, you don't know basketball.
that is heat, bro. Jimmy Two Shoes, I would have dunked on you 5-6 years ago. So that's pretty fire.
I'll dunk on you today. And we could put.
I'll maybe make a layup. Maybe.
Yo, I want these guys that are talking, bro. I see who's in here right now. I'm going to wait because there's some people talking reckless. So I want to see if they come in here. I appreciate
already.
you guys.
I mean, Big Ron said Ron just be chatting. He's
bring in Lil
I
Ron.
love Big Ron. I love Big Ron.
Come on, Lil
Let's
Ron.
get him in here. Let's get him in here.
Now,
What's
what I be
good,
chatting
Big
about,
Ron?
Lil
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Grant.
see,
Running from the grind. Running for the grind.
Yo, what's good?
Just
What
think
up?
what's good. Wait, what's your name in the chat?
Oh, my name in the chat? Just think. That's what I put up there.
Okay, got you. Just making sure. Some people put other stuff that's not their username, but anyway, go ahead.
For me, honestly, y'all might think this is kind of a boost, but I think Victor got the potential to probably be the greatest player of all time, or one of the greatest players I've ever seen, to be honest. And I don't think San Antonio is the best place. I think Houston might be a better place for him, to be honest, just because they got KPJ there, they got Jalen there, they got guys who can handle the rock and set him up and make him look
I
good.
agree with that.
That's kind of my personal take. I've never seen Victor. I haven't seen anybody that complete. He's probably more complete than LeBron, because LeBron came into the league, he couldn't really shoot like that, to be honest. Victor could shoot, pass, dribble, great defender. He could guard big men. He could guard guards. I haven't seen a prospect like that in my life, to be honest.
I agree, and that's one thing we didn't touch on.
I haven't.
His ability to guard the perimeter. He
It's
really can guard
sick.
the perimeter.
Yeah, he
He's
moves his
sick,
feet.
man.
Yeah, he does
He's-
move his feet well. That's what I noticed too. And like I was saying, it just doesn't make sense looking at a guy like that at that size in the way that his fluid movements.
Have y'all ever seen that before?
Well,
I've
no,
never-
because
I've never
I've
seen
never,
anybody like
I've
that,
never
to be
seen,
honest. But
I've
here's
never
the thing,
seen
though.
nobody like that.
I've never seen
He's way
anybody
better
like
than
that.
Scoot. I think him and Scoot, it's like a gap.
It's not even a competition for the number 1 pick. It's
like
clearly
him.
Victor. No
He's
ifs,
him.
ands, or buts. But they were saying that last year. They were saying if you would have put Victor in last year's draft, it would have been a clear cut
Clear cut number
Victor.
one.
And
But
you had Chet in last year's draft too, which you get some comparisons with those two. But I think Victor clears Chet. in a lot of categories as well.
Oh yeah, it's
And
not
I
even
think in all
it's not even a
categories.
conversation. It's not even a conversation.
I think
Clear
Chet might be
shit.
able to shoot a little better than him, maybe.
I think
Yeah,
Chet's a better passer than.
but he has to get that off over Vic.
Yeah.
If you're talking about just one on
Yeah.
one, right? I don't know.
I
He's
don't
too
know.
slow for Vic. You see
I
what
watched
Vic-
you
Vic.
see all
Vic
the you
played
see all
Chet
the
in the
you see all the shit
international
that
and
Scoot had to do in order to
wasn't
get
good.
his shot over
Bro,
over Vic, and then even still, Vic blocked him like 3 times. You know what I'm saying? I mean, once at the rim or twice at the rim, I guess. But that one step back that he had, I
Yeah.
mean,
shit.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody. I mean, it's not a stretch to say that nobody has ever seen anything like Vic. You know what I mean?
I've
7'4",
never
doing what
seen
he's
nothing
doing.
like that.
Nobody has ever seen that. But I think
He's definitely going to
to-
average 20
to
points a
off
game
rip-
his
to off
rookie
rip say
year.
that he's all time, like he has the potential to be the all time greatest player of all.
You could
I
say
don't
that
know.
about anyone technically, but
No, you can't. No, you can't say that about anybody. You
It's
can't.
certain
You can say that
generational
about
prospects.
anybody
Nah.
who is a prospect like him, though.
Yeah.
That- Who's been a prospect like him?
You could have
Like
said the
Le-
same thing about Luca.
LeBron, like, you know what I'm
You
saying?
could have said the
No.
same thing about Luca when he came up.
No. I couldn't say the same thing about Luca. No,
I
Why
mean,
not?
I could.
Luca had a
couldn't.
lot of hate. Luca,
'Cause
nobody
he's a-
believed in Luca.
But I think I could. The general public, no, because obviously he wasn't even number one. But if you just look,
I
at
knew
his
what he was
game, I
doing in
think he
Real
had the
Madrid.
potential.
I knew what he was doing in Real Madrid. He was an MVP, 17-year-old dude. He was killing it. But he's not Victor though. He's not that.
I mean,
not
here's
at
the
all.
thing, man. He's
Nah.
18. Like, there's a lot of
Which is
development that needs to be
sick.
done. We don't even know if he can even get better for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know any of this stuff. We don't know how he's
That's a
gonna.
fact.
There's a lot
That's
of
a fact.
factors that play into this, and so like for you to say that a great spot for him would be Houston, I
think it'd be
definitely-
Houston. I think
I
Houston be
definitely
perfect.
disagree with that because I think he would need leadership in the way of the NBA. You know what I mean? Like, this is how we play over here.
Why?
I think a bunch of young guys, like, just to give him the rock and a bunch of playing time because he can, with that squad or whatever, that's not going to be enough for him to elevate his game. He has to have some, somebody to show him how to win too. And so when we're talking about all time, yeah, you can be the all time talent for sure. You can be the greatest fucking guy, whatever. But here's the thing: we don't just consider all time talents to be the greatest. We consider all time talents plus the consistency, plus the longevity, plus the success that they are able to produce. We consider all of that in the all time conversation. And so I don't think Houston is the greatest starting block for him to be coming out of when we talk.
I don't
about
understand why I don't understand why people are so anti-Houston though. I really
love
don't get
Houston.
it. That's what I'm
not gonna lie.
saying.
I
I
really
don't.
love Houston, what they got going on, and they got a pretty good coach too. Dude that they got over there, he's
Yeah, good coach, good
Yeah.
assistant coaches. John Lucas out there too. If you know about the AAU scene, youth basketball, you already know about John Lucas.
Yeah,
So that's why I feel like it'd be the perfect situation, mostly because John is there. If John Lucas wasn't there, then I probably would agree with you. But I think John Lucas is there. They got really good guards there. And Jalen Green, KPJ. I like Knicks, although, we got to see what Knicks is going to do. But
Knicks is cool. They got Josh Christopher. They got a bunch of young talent. They got Jabari Smith.
Sengun, you know what I'm saying? So I think there's a lot of talent in Houston. I think he'll definitely fit into like that talent, and he'll be able to get the playing time as well and develop. He already looks physically. He looked like physically bigger than what he looked like last year when there was. Oh, was it last year or the year before when France played the USA? I think it was like the year before. I don't remember, but he looks a lot bigger than when he was playing in Europe. So I mean, he's physically getting bigger. The skill looks a lot more refined. For him to have the post, I mean, I haven't seen nothing like that. Because usually a guy who's like a big dude, perimeter oriented, they won't have like a post game. They won't be able to guard bigs, or they won't be able to switch as effectively as he does. But for him to be able to have that post game, be able to face up, post up, be able to, get a rebound, dribble the ball up the court, and then dribble past the defender,
Crazy.
It's like, are you a guard? Are you a big man? Like, he's an alien. That's why I'm kind of, again, it might sound like a boost, but that's kind of why I'm, that's why I'm kind of going in that direction. Like he does have the potential to be the GOAT. I ain't seen no one like that since LeBron.
Potential to be the GOAT is crazy. Yo,
I know.
hey,
Hot
Did you guys,
take.
you
Hot
guys see why
take.
I'm saying this
I
hype?
ain't
though?
never
I
ain't
said
never
that.
seen no shit like
I
that
said
before,
that.
bro.
Y'all tripped off
I've
me, and then my
never.
man came up here and said everything that I said and more with steroids.
yeah.
I'm
Yo.
serious.
All right.
Come on.
Yeah, we got to get some more people up here. 'Cause
It's all
I'm
good,
looking
man.
for the
It's all
spicy take.
good.
I'm looking for the people that are coming up here to challenge us, man. Just think came up here to agree with us. But we appreciate you coming up, bro.
All right,
We
man.
appreciate you
Peace
coming up.
out.
Thank you for supporting
Much
Players
love,
Choice.
much
Thank
love.
you for tapping in, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, Euro, I want to know, where do you think is the best place for Victor to go? Like right now, if you could choose any team to get the #1 overall pick, where would you put him on? But it gotta obviously be a lower tier team, like a team that's not in the lottery, or a team that would be in the lottery.
Well, I think I didn't think about this before, and so like I would have to do more thinking. But when you mentioned Spurs or whoever said Spurs, I think that's a great fucking fit because obviously there's a direct pipeline between the Spurs and Europe, particularly France, especially because of Tony Parker. Tony Parker is, he's been knowing about Vic, and obviously, he played for his club. Tony Parker's brother, he coached him, and Pop, and like, what I mean? It just makes sense. We know who Pop is. It just seems like this is a great starting place for somebody like him to learn basketball the way that the NBA is playing basketball. And it's going to be a seamless transition because the way that he learned to play basketball in Europe is through the Tony Parker School. And the Parker School is coming from Pop. You know what I mean? So like I just think it's going to be the easiest for him. I think he's going to be able to make use and take advantage of Tony Parker's network out there. I'm sure there's some French connections and shit like that in San Antonio that he can like tap into. And the support system that's there for a young guy coming from a different country, a different culture, to be, dropped in the United States. That's not always the easiest. I just, the more I think about it, the more I like Spurs, to be honest, for everything that he needs as, a support system in order to do well in basketball. And then you have good coaching on top of that. So I really like that.
All right, that one essential barber. Do we put a lot of stock into talented, lanky bigs and ignore the red flags when it comes to health for their longevity in the NBA?
Maybe.
I mean,
maybe he could get
there's
throughout his
not
career
that
he
many
could
of
get
them,
bigger. Yeah.
But hold on, no, because we can't do that. Guys like Steph Curry, when he came in the league, he had red flags health wise. Chris Paul, even Trae Young, as a dude being just that small and frail. Ja Morant is a health risk every time he steps on the floor, just because he's so athletic and plays in the air that at any time he can get undercut or big can hit him or he could just land wrong. So, bro, that you have to factor in injuries with just about anybody.
Yeah, bro, it doesn't matter. Oh, one more. My bad. I was about to bring somebody in. Got to hit this one more super chat. Scoot is a more athletic Darius Garland. Jamal Williams sent a super chat to say that. Interesting take. I didn't watch enough. I only watched the highlights, so I actually don't have an opinion on that. All right. UVO the Menace, just because he's sitting like that, we got to bring him up. He just looks like he's ready to eat it.
Y'all can hear me?
Oh, yes, I love this energy. Let's go.
Y'all can hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. Let's go, bro. Please do something.
Cook somebody.
No, hold on. No, hold on. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do y'all? I don't know if y'all remember me last time. I tried to get on. I was talking through like a shitty mic with my iPhone, and what's your name?
We had a lot of those guys.
Yeah, you said I was underwater or something because I didn't even know I sounded like
I
that.
remember. I remember.
You remember?
No, you good. Yeah, I remember. You good.
SquarePants. All right.
I just got my camera. And Mars, we just had a skerfuffle like last week. He probably doesn't even remember.
Skerfuffle's crazy. That sounds like a
Yeah,
dessert.
because I was talking about Zion. Because I was talking about Zion.
Oh, yeah, you were the guy who said Zion, I was underrating him or something.
Yeah, and then you went off. I never seen Mars like that. Mars was really heated with me because I was talking crazy about Zion. I'm like a Zion truther around here, Zion enthusiast.
Zion truther is fire.
I'm right there with you.
He's a Zion stan.
Zion stands, so you could say that, and I respect. You said. Oh, sorry, I'm blanking on you. I'm blanking on everybody's name for some reason immediately, except Mars. I can't remember everyone's name.
That's cool.
For some reason.
No,
hold on.
It's not though. It's not. It's not cool.
Oh my god.
Damn. Oh.
Hey, you guys see his face?
Yo,
Dub,
that's
Dub, Euro, JD, Mars. And I know your name. It's just
El
blank.
Host is his name.
El Hostess is for sure.
No, I know your name. I watch the football show all the time. It's just
Damn, you don't-
it's one of those brain things that's happened. Anyways, I just want to say this. Because the last person was talking about Wembanyama.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all something, right? I'm not here to say, I'm qualifying myself. I know I'm an expert on draft stuff and everything. But I've been covering, like, watching the draft since 2015, like going into like draft circles and blogs and all that nerd shit, right? So I've been hearing about Wembanyama since 2017. Some of the shit that he dude said kind of crazy to me, because if you look at Wembanyama stats in the EuroLeague, they're pretty awful. I know.
Wait,
with big,
wait.
It's EuroLeague. It's EuroLeague.
Wait,
No, we're talking
Euro
about.
League.
when
And
Luka
he's a bigger
Doncic with his age, age?
Look at the minutes too. So here's the thing: like, there's a difference, right?
He had a smaller role.
Yeah. So
Especially
like in
in
EuroLeague,
EuroLeague.
they don't get to play a lot. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing: this is the only player that actually went to the league that played EuroLeague is Luka, for real, because all of these other prospects, even the younger guys that are in the NBA right now, they came from EuroLeague teams, but they never played really EuroLeague like that. They make it like 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes max or whatever,
Right.
very, very sparingly, because the EuroLeague as a league, of its own is obviously the best league. There's a lot of Americans that come straight from the NBA or whatever, and so the teams, they don't play those young prospects on purpose because they want to protect their stock. Their draft stock, you know what I mean? They don't want to tarnish their reputation if they do have a bad game and whatnot. And so, what you really have to look at is look at their domestic league performances or whatever, and this is where they shine. EuroLeague, unfortunately, it's its own brand and its own league. And so, when people talk about European basketball and like the top leagues, they just say EuroLeague, but it's not necessarily EuroLeague. You know what I mean? The EuroLeague.
Gotcha. So here's my counter to that. His per 36 numbers are also kind of pedestrian in my opinion, outside of like block rates. But I know you said that when they're younger, especially even for bigs, because the development curve is kind of steep with bigs. They kind of grow into that. Unlike guards, it's more seamless transition. But Luka Doncic at 17. If you look at his statistics in the EuroLeague, I'm just looking at the raw stats, even if you go to the advanced metric just a year later, they're just insane. I mean, look at Doncic. And by the way, I don't know if you guys mentioned, I know Zion, but I know the EuroLeague does not compare. NCAA does not compare to the EuroLeague, but Zion's one season in college was the best one and done season in the history of college basketball. It clears, like if you put Anthony Davis's numbers in that one season with Kentucky, where he was, prior to Zion coming into Duke, was considered by far and away the best season in the history of college basketball, right? One and done season. We're calling this guy the guy we're going to pass the mantle to from LeBron. Everyone was saying that. We're correct, right? There's no revisionist history.
No, that's a fact.
Thank you. So if you put his numbers right next to Zion, it's like they're not even close. So Zion and AD, their one season in college, statistically Zion clears him really bad, like really, really bad. Zion led college basketball like half the advanced metrics in that one season. And then he came to the NBA, and of course he tore his meniscus, and now Wembanyama is the new talk of the town. I still think Wembanyama could potentially be one of the best players in the league, just because movement skills, because for someone that big at his size to move like that, that's pretty special. But right now, we don't have any tangible evidence to say that he can be a LeBron-like player, in my opinion.
I mean, we don't have that for Zion either. You said, stats and, advanced statistics, whatever, for the NCAA, bro. There have been incredible fucking NCAA players like Adam Morrison, for example. Everybody thought he was the fucking greatest thing since sliced bread, and then he came into the league, and it was like,
you said Michael Beasley, maybe. If you said Michael Beasley, I would understand you.
Bro, fucking Adam Morrison was wilding in college. What are you talking about, man?
No doubt about it.
He was wilding. And so,
you thought he was going to do that in the NBA?
No, what I'm saying is like nobody knows these things. You can be the greatest fucking college player ever, and then go to the league and not pan out. And then look at all these players that are quote unquote steals in the draft, right? Look at like guys that are second round. Look at Fred VanVleet, for example, right?
It's a crapshoot. You can say that.
Didn't even get drafted, and this guy has the biggest contract in the NBA history for somebody that not get drafted. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's like you never know what's happening. Like what's what. And to speak about Luka, Luka is a different type of animal. Number one,
Right.
you comparing now. I guess if we're comparing unicorns, we can compare unicorns. But the thing about unicorns is, even when you say unicorns and comparing it to another unicorn, unicorn is unicorn. It's unique. You can't say Vic is the same as Luka. So Luka, you know what I mean? He didn't need the protecting the same way that Vic does, for the simple fact that he wasn't as skinny as him. He wasn't as tall as him. And so he's, him running up against or running into grown ass men at that age, 15, 16, 17 or whatever, is not going to be as detrimental to his body and his development as it would have been to a Victor Wembanyama. And so I think the trajectory, the decisions that have been made in order for him to develop into the player that he is now, the prospect that he is now, were the right decisions that were made. And I'm not holding that against him just because he doesn't have a quote unquote track record with statistics and shit like that, and we don't have any proof or whatever. This is why he's on the tour right now. Everybody's paying attention. Now he's showing what he's got or whatever. So I don't like comparing.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm disparaging Wembanyama or anything. I just came in and I said the first thing in my head. I still think
it's a concern for sure, but I'm just disagreeing that it's a valid concern. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think it goes that way. There's a lot of decisions that are being made behind the scenes for these players to be on the court and not on the court. In my opinion, as somebody who grew up in Europe, seeing top prospects and how they're being handled. You know what I mean? By clubs, by agents, and all that.
Yeah, even if you watch your soccer in Europe is also like that. They integrate the youth players in the same fashion. They don't just kick them in just because they're
The NBA used to be like that too, though. It used to be very certain people that can just get the reins and just basically the keys to the franchise. They used to bring players along slowly too and develop players and things of that nature. But things have changed now with teams tanking. They're like, yo, we just gonna play our young players and they just gonna learn by experience.
Crazy. Yo, UVO, appreciate you tapping in, bro. We're gonna get the next guest up here. Any last words that you want to say,
bro?
No, that'll be it.
All right. I thought you were gonna give us a crazy take or something. All right, let's get Ron.
Yeah, what's cracking, yo?
What's good, Ron?
Yeah, I'm here for you, Dub. You wildin'.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, you wildin'. And Mars, you wildin' too. But we'll get to you later. But first and foremost, dude that was saying dude could be the GOAT is wild. He need to go some. He's wild. Talking about Victor Wembanyama, he's wild for saying that. But he got big potential. But saying he got the potential to be the greatest of all time, just seeing from what I see, no, I'm not gonna say all of that. I gotta see him play some NBA players first. But yeah, I just need what's up with you in this CP3 stuff you pushing, man? What's going on with that?
He put the camera up to one eye. He said, I need to see it.
Nah, it's cool. I just think it's just kind of unfair, the stigmas of the NBA community, the narratives that's set forth for people. I feel as if winning is a drug, and that fact that if somebody wins a title, everybody's willing to offlook everything else that they did in their whole entire career. And I think Kawhi Leonard is a perfect example of that. Kawhi Leonard is a guy where he had a tremendous Toronto Raptors run, phenomenal all time. Give it. I remember being glued to the screen and watching that. But when we look at the whole totality of his career, he has a similar career to a CP3 as a guy who's always hurt in the postseason, who blew a 3-1 lead at that. Everyone gives Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady heat for blowing the 3-1 lead, but nobody talks about Kawhi Leonard in the same sense. Kawhi Leonard doesn't show up because he's hurt or he's blowing 3-1 leads, and that's really the whole totality of his career. He had a great finals performance against LeBron James, but he was a role player. Like I said before, and I'm pretty sure you do as well. Like when we talk about a Jason Kidd and an Andre Iguodala, we really talk about those guys and what they did at their best, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we're talking about Kawhi Leonard, I don't really look at that Finals MVP. I think it was great. He deserved it. Cool, but I'm not using that as my judgment of him for his whole entire career because that wasn't the best version of himself. We're nowhere near that.
Okay, so why do you negate the 19 so much then?
I don't negate it. It's just he won. That's great. Everything worked out for him. It's not. I understand what he did. I thought it was phenomenal, but I'm not gonna my whole point is I don't negate it, but for other people who's gonna crucify Chris Paul for who he is because he's hurt, I expect you to do the same thing with Kawhi Leonard because apart from that 2019 ring, that's been his whole entire career.
That's true, but Chris Paul just never had it. And then Chris Paul was healthy, and then he sold.
Yeah, at an older age outside of his prime, in my opinion. I don't think that the CP3 for the last 2 years is the best CP3.
Was you screaming? But was you screaming he was outside his prime when he was having that great season that whole year?
Yes.
Hey, you like 30, 40 minutes, all right?
I was.
I don't think he was keeping that same energy, Doug.
You can ask everybody on this panel. I've said the whole season.
Well, you know I watch all your shows, bro, but you wasn't keeping that same energy, bro.
Jay. Jay, I guess you know more than what I said. I mean, these are the witnesses that seen it. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I've distracted. Same energy with what?
Haven't I been saying that CP3 looks like a lesser version of himself? I don't understand why everyone thinks that he's on this level.
During the finals run season.
Since last season, yeah, like the middle of the season.
During the finals run, was that the finals run last year?
He was saying it at the middle of last season.
That was 2 years. The finals run was 2 years ago, though.
Finals run was 2 years.
I'm talking about the finals run.
The finals run.
I wasn't here 2 years ago.
Yeah, I wasn't here during that finals run. I wasn't.
Oh yeah, you was. Yeah, you wasn't here.
Yeah,
you wasn't here.
So yeah, I mean, I thought CP3. Don't get me wrong. I think CP3 is still a capable player, but this right now isn't the best CP3 that I've seen for his whole entire career. This isn't CP3 in his prime. This isn't. It's just not. If CP3 won the ring last year, my ranking wouldn't have changed at all. It would have been the same exact way. I have him top 3 to top 5. Okay. And I feel as if a lot of people who's watching this fucking video right now, if CP3 won that ring against a Giannis, that they would have pushed him to a top 5 or top 3 level. They would have been like Kawhi Leonard. They would have been, oh, you know what? He got the job done when it mattered most. So we'll forget that he was hurt for almost his whole entire career in the postseason.
Nah, but the difference is Kawhi had one of the best. The difference is Kawhi had one of the best individual playoff runs you ever seen.
And I agree. I agree 100%.
Like top 3.
For sure. I agree 100% with that. I'm not going to be ignorant of that fact. But it's also one point in time where you can't, just because he had that in his one season for his whole entire career, we can't just ignore everything else that he's done. And he hasn't really done anything else outside of that in his prime.
Kawhi's done a lot.
He hasn't done anything.
He's done a lot.
He has done a lot, bro.
He's done a lot.
He blew a 3-1 lead. He's been getting hurt.
Yo,
how many
3-1
leads have Chris Paul blown, bro?
One, and he was hurt. He had an excuse.
Man, yeah, his hamstring is always falling off the bone, bro.
That's exactly my point. And Kawhi Leonard is never in the postseason.
He's always in the postseason. What are you talking about?
3 out of the 6 years he's been in his prime,
every time he plays, he's in the postseason.
Wait, don't count that year
prime?
where his foot landed on Petulia because they was about to go up 1-0. I'm not gonna say they was gonna win the series.
He was hurt. He was hurt.
It was a dirty play. That's what happened.
It was a dirty play. Yes.
Put some context into it. Just like you like to say context. Just like you like to say context. Put some context into it. It was a dirty play.
No, that's perfect, Tom. That's perfect what you're doing for Kawhi Leonard. You're putting context into him, but you're not putting context into CP3 and the things that he could accomplish if everything was hurt. You see how everyone is flip-flopping? You're proving my point. You're putting context for you're putting context for one guy, but you're not putting context in the other guy.
I said he's hurt, but you're negating the fact that he was hurt by a dirty play. One was hurt by a dirty play. The other one, his hamstring just always falls.
Why does it matter? Somebody's hurt. Why does it matter?
He got a well-cooked. It's like a well-cooked rib. Like it's always falling off the bone.
Why does something like that even matter? He was hurt in 2017. He got hurt in 2018. He got hurt in the playoffs he got hurt in the playoffs in the Clippers in 2021, and he didn't play last year in the postseason.
He done the one I'll give you. The one I'll really give you credit for is the Clippers one because that torn ACL just happened out of nowhere.
I don't understand.
He was having a historic run then. He was going crazy then too.
Yeah, he was. I don't understand why in the way in which you get hurt, it matters. You got hurt. Do I agree with you? It was a dirty play? Yes, it was. But he got hurt. Like Chris Paul gets hurt.
He got hurt after he was playing well, got hurt. And then Chris Paul. The difference between the two though is when they're on the floor, Chris Paul tends to choke.
How? Nothing. Look at his playoff numbers. There's only probably 2 or 3 series in this man's whole entire career.
In the finals, what did he do?
There we go. Proving my point
He
again,
for sure
bro.
played bad in the finals. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
You guys are proving my point.
But
You
he's
guys
out
are proving my
of his
point
prime,
again.
so it doesn't matter.
You guys are proving my point
Man,
again.
I'm so tired of this Chris Paul agenda. This agenda
Because what about
what's funny
Kawhi
is
Leonard?
I agree
What
with
about
what's
Kawhi
funny
Leonard?
that I agree with you. I agree with you that Chris Paul is a top five point guard ever. I'll give him top 5 because he is.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5 point guard that I've ever seen. But I'm also going to get, but y'all probably won't agree, but Kawhi Leonard's probably going to be a top 5 small forward ever.
It's not. I mean, he's already top 20.
It's debatable because what if
he's
It's
top
debatable.
20,
it's
top
debatable.
five.
Let me tell you why.
Is
Let me
it
tell you
five
why it's
small forwards
debatable. Let me
in
tell
the
you
top
why it's
20?
debatable. Let me tell you why it's debatable. Number one, you talk about Chris Paul losing the finals. Like I said, Chris Paul was outside of his prime. I think people need to look more to a Devin Booker for stepping up in the playoffs and stepping up in the postseason than a Chris Paul, because in my opinion, Devin Booker is the best player of my team. Chris Paul is more of the second option instead of the first option, number one. Number two, Kawhi Leonard is a guy, when we look at his postseason, he has a time where he folded as well. Let's not forget he blew a 3-1 lead with a healthy team. Let's just not forget that. Has he had one tremendous, amazing 2019 run? 100%, and I agree. But let's not sit here and ignore everything else he's shown us in his career. Because I can handpick times where Chris Paul plays at a great level. There's times where I can sit here and say that Chris Paul has played at a great level, but his team is the reason why he's not winning. His team is the reason, or him and his health.
Now during that choke that you're talking about, and I'll give you that. Let's just say he choked. What was his numbers? Because he just said it. What was it?
I don't remember his numbers, but Drew Holiday was locking him up.
8-5.
That was a choke. What was Chris Paul's numbers during that choke in the finals?
I mean, in the Denver series, he actually averaged 24 a game, but he averaged 30, I guess, for the playoffs in totality.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
24, 8, and 6.
24, 8, yeah.
That's okay. He shot like 6 for 22 in game 7.
Okay.
And in the last game, he choked in the last. He choked really in the last game.
You go 3-1 up, you get to a game 7, and then you shoot 6 for 22.
Yeah, he choked in the last game. I would watch it.
Yeah,
he choked in the last game. I agree with you. Actually.
So then, what's the point? What are we talking about?
Like, they both choked.
No. Kawhi did it one time.
Kawhi's had a 5-year.
Kawhi
has had 3 playoff runs in his prime. Chris Paul's had like 12. So you saying one time? Yes, he's only been in the playoffs 3 times.
But that's the point I'm trying to make, though. If you give Kawhi 12 playoff runs, I'm assuming he already got 2 rings.
So now we're assuming and not going off of what they're doing.
Yeah, we have to go.
What are we doing?
I'm going off Chris Paul's resume.
Yeah, Chris Paul's resume is longer because he's been there longer.
He's
been in the league longer.
Yeah, so why is it crazy to say that Chris Paul is over Kawhi when he's been in the league longer?
Because
Kawhi in his prime has had.
Because y'all don't keep that same energy for everybody.
Well, I'm speaking for myself.
Well, we do. Like, bro, Rome.
No,
that's not you, Rome. What are you talking about? I'm battling against the logic. I'm battling against the logic that the NBA community, like yourself.
I'll say about Mars is he does keep that same energy for everybody. But you don't.
Who? Give me an example. Give me an example.
You
give
don't.
me an example. Give me an example. Give me an example.
You'll switch up.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please.
Oh, he's running away. Tubby's running away.
I'm dying to hear it. I'm dying to hear it.
I had to move for my homie.
But I'm dying to hear it. I'm dying to hear it, honestly. When have I switched up on somebody? When have I not kept the same energy and provided context for things? Has there been things where I wasn't informed about?
And that's what, and you'll provide context when it suits you.
When?
That's one thing you do.
When?
But I guess that's something that everybody does. But when it suits you, you'll provide context.
You cannot sit here and make a statement and not even provide an example that shows me that you said you've been watching the show for how long now? A year? And you still haven't given me one? There should be a lot of ammo for me doing this. And if you're not providing it, bro, then you just capping.
Yo, we're about to go to the next guest, but Big Ron, as always, bro. Big Ron's been here in the clubhouse days. He's been here forever, man. So Big Ron's the OG, bro. Appreciate you tapping in.
We got to get you on here a little more often. Let us know when you got a better time schedule, a better setup, bro. And come get with us.
Oh yeah. This was just random. I just seen the thing and popped out here, so I'm ready whenever.
Yeah, go ahead, get your full Dub and Bars agenda together. Hit me on the side. We gonna tag.
I really just got on here to mess with Dub. Dub's my guy, but I mess with him.
I love bro.
All right, Ron, we appreciate you, brother.
Y'all be easy.
Take it easy.
Sure.
Let's get Giovanni in here. He's talking spicy a little bit in the private chat. Yo, two things before Giovanni starts. One, I'm seeing a lot of people aren't paying the 2-click entry fee. So if you're just coming in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also, man, there were a lot of people talking spicy in the chat. None of them so far have either joined or are sitting in the waiting room. Where are you guys? You guys have so much to say with this thing.
Calvin,
I challenge the chat. I challenge the chat. Please provide me an example when I was flip-flopping. Because I really don't be flip-flopping, bro. Y'all just talking out y'all ass. I'm going to just be real. Like, I'm going to just be real. Like, y'all just talking out y'all ass, bro. I try my best to keep the same energy towards everybody. But, hey, I guess I'm the only one paying attention.
Giovanni, are you here? Oh, Marcus Crossan. Let's go. Marcus Crossan just became a casual. Welcome, Marcus Crossan. Thank you so much. If Giovanni's not here, Aaron Bridges just said in the private chat that he is here. Oh, here we go.
He also said you flip-flop, Dub.
When? Mars,
you've been
arguing. Oh, who said this?
When? Mars,
Hey, yo. All right. Really quick, Aaron, mute that audio. We'll bring you back up because you said that you're talking spicy. We want to get you up here, but we cannot be listening to that crazy echo. So we're going to try this one more time. I'm bringing you up. Do whatever you need to do over there. And let's get it.
Yo, my fault.
No, you're good, bro. You're good. You're good. What's good, bro?
What up, gang?
What up?
Hey, so
Hey,
what's up?
Bridges,
With,
what's the word?
what's the word? Yo, what's up with Wilt Chamberlain though?
Oh, this is the guy who thinks.
What are you talking about, yo? What are we talking about?
Where did this come from? Okay, let's hear it.
Here's an example of how this man over here flip flops. You know what I'm saying? This is one of my first times on this channel. You know what I'm saying? But like, he was talking about how Chris Paul shouldn't get all that flack for being a choker, right, in the playoffs, right? But when we talk about Will, that's one of the main things we used to discredit him. You know what I'm saying? That he never won when he was going up against the number one defense of all time. What are you talking about?
I mean, Will actually chose.
Yo, Mars. Whenever you went on this vote,
Bill Russell in the Celtics.
Hold on, wait, my bad, brother.
Okay.
Mars, whenever we have this Wilt Chamberlain Russell debate, whose side am I on?
The Wilt Chamberlain side.
Okay. When have I ever said that Wilt falls off a cliff and that's why he's not that good?
My fault. Maybe I'm picking on that, but my thing is, I think Wilt was the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even an old head.
Can we get some context? Can you let us know why do you think Wilt is the GOAT and for what reasons?
It's going to be some bad reasons.
First of all, right? Wilt Chamberlain played against the densest population of Hall of Fame center talent. You know what I'm saying? There's 8 to 12 teams in the league, and about like 9 of the teams had Hall of Fame centers. And no one talks about that. No one talks about that. Nate Thurman, you know what I'm saying? He held Kareem Abdul-Jabbar under 40% for a playoff series.
Wait.
Bill Russell, Walt Bellamy, Willis Reed, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one talks about how he had to play up against Bill Russell 14 times a season. Like, we say, oh, the talent here is a lot better. You know what I'm saying? But when LeBron only sees KD 2 times a year, you know what I'm saying? It's a completely different ballgame. You feel me? Like, Wilt Chamberlain was playing a Hall of Fame center night in and night out. And when he wasn't, he was going up against 3 All-Stars on the Lakers. And 7'1" Daryl Limhoff, all these people. And on top of that, you know what I'm saying? To top it off, can I curse?
Say what you want.
Fuck it, dude. Go ahead.
on top of that, these niggas were measured barefoot. You know what I'm saying? So people was like, oh, there was nobody 7 foot plus in the league. Bro, they were measured without shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, Shaquille O'Neal even said himself that barefoot he's 6'11". You know what I'm saying? Wilt Chamberlain bare feet is 7'1" and some change. You put him in shoes, he'd be listed at 7'3" today. You know what I'm saying? Like, and no one talks about that. Another thing, he invented most of the big man moves that we see today.
Like what?
Like what?
That dumb fadeaway he used to do.
That fadeaway, the upper under, the baseline drive. I'm telling you, look. I'm 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not. This is not biased. You know what I'm saying? I thought they was plumbers too. I look back in time on some YouTube shit because I actually do research instead of like regurgitate what I hear on the news type shit. He made the up and under. He had the baseline spin. He popularized all these moves, the fadeaway, the post hop shot. You know what I'm saying? The finger roll, all that. Like niggas talk about how and he led the league in assists as a center.
The players back then have a left.
That's wild for sure.
No one talks about that.
The players back then have a left. Let me see if you really.
The players back. All right, listen. Let me explain something to you. Right back then, players were limited offensively. You know why? Because you couldn't put your hand on the side of the ball. So why would you cross over to your left hand? Even though a lot of players could do it, they would get called for carrying violations. The thing
crossing over.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was times that Elgin Baylor would do crossovers. It was iffy because
you know what I'm saying. Like
he still didn't have much of a left hand.
Kyrie Irving would average 30 turnovers in the 60s. He'd still be a great player. You know what I'm saying? Every all-time player, every high caliber player will be a high caliber player no matter what era you put him in. You know what I'm saying? And if you're head and shoulders above your competition at that time, then you're gonna be head and shoulders above the competition of the next era, the era after that, and the era after that. Wilt Chamberlain was 7'3", 300 freaking pounds in his prime, with a 40+ inch vertical. Let's not act like maybe 50 inches is a stretch. You know what I'm saying? But he was reported at touching 13 foot 3 inches, which is fucking ridiculous.
Wilt was crazy fast too. Like when they put up that old grainy ass film, I don't know what I'm watching. I just see a figure moving fast.
Wilt was fast as shit.
Wilt was getting loose.
But the thing is, he wasn't even the fastest center in the league. Bill Russell was faster than him. But no one talks about that. Oh, he was way ahead of his time athletically. He will be way ahead of his time athletically. And if you put him in today, if you drop 1960s Wilt Chamberlain, bro, like it's fucking ridiculous what he would do. If you drop him straight from the 1960s, he's still going to be as athletic. He's going to be more. Bro, hold on.
You think he's more athletic than Dwight?
Yeah, what the
in Orlando?
What the
in Orlando?
Dwight Howard is 6'9", barefoot.
Right, bro, my bad.
Let me answer your question. Dwight Howard had a max reach of what? What was his max reach? Like 12'7", 12'8". Wilt Chamberlain was getting the 13'3". He was snatching quarters off of the backboard. And Bill Russell could do the same. And Bill Russell was only 6'10", 6'11". Bill Russell and Dwight Howard were the same height barefoot. But no one talks about that. No one mentions that. Oh, he was 6'9". Oh, he was one of the greatest athletes of all time. He was faster than Wilt Chamberlain. He had a higher vertical. You know what I'm saying? He played harder, in my opinion, because I watched them both. I'm not old enough to watch them in real time, but you know what I'm saying? In my research, he played harder on defensive end of the ball. Like, but we don't talk about it.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. I love the nice monologue you gave us. When I go back and watch Wilt, bro.
You have to watch. Yo, do me a favor, right? When
he's running.
When you get some free time, I got you. When you do some free time, right? Look up Wilt Chamberlain Archive or 70s fan on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Look up. Matter of fact, there's a 3-minute video while they're arguing about Chris Paul or whatever, some shit. You know what I'm saying? Look up Elgin Baylor passing Wilt Chamberlain Archive. Somebody. And I want you to say, "Oh, I'm not impressed." Oh shit, I could be.
Elgin Baylor passing Wilt Chamberlain.
No, it's the channel is called Wilt Chamberlain Archive. The compilation the video is called Elgin Baylor passing. Look up. Elgin Baylor passing.
Sounds like some.
Listen, I mean, is it highlights or is it like the full game?
It's highlights. Because I know you're not gonna do enough research to watch the full game type shit.
I've watched. I can't watch a full game, but I've watched some quarters on that shit. I can't watch a full game of 60 basketball. I feel like I'm watching kids play basketball. So
what have you what?
I bet back when I was in high school, and then a little time after that, I was looking up Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell, and some of the games. I mean, they're just running.
Bro, also when you say you watching the games, realistically, how many full games of Wilt Chamberlain have you watched?
No, I just said I can't watch the whole fucking game.
Not you. Okay.
Probably like 10, 15.
Then you can watch a full game of that,
bro. 10 or 15 games.
I mean, look,
that's what I be talking about though when it comes to basketball. Y'all want to see a bunch of dudes dribbling, going through the legs, spinning and dunking.
Ron, who wants to watch these guys just run back and forth? Son?
I enjoyed watching. I enjoyed when I watched the 60s.
Wilt Chamberlain played 1,000. Wilt Chamberlain played 1,045 games.
Exactly, and only 2% of his games exist on film. Exactly.
Yeah, there's
He's proved my
only
point.
you could probably
He's
only
proved my
find
point.
about
Like
60 games of Wilt
I
Chamberlain.
probably watched 20, like 10, 15, 20 games. That's it.
Yeah.
Of Wilt Chamberlain.
Yo, Aaron,
Yo,
can we hear your top 10?
my top 10.
I want to know the
Yes.
criteria for the top 10 first.
No. Let's hear it first. Let's just hear it.
If
I
he
just
has,
want
if
to
he
hear
has
it.
Wilt
Look,
at
I
one,
I just want to hear it.
I don't know if I have a top 10, but I do know that
Well, just give
I
it
got
top
to us
five?
right now. Pause.
Top five
right
real
now,
quick.
right now. I'm gonna think. I got you. Like I value two
Or
way
top
impact.
5. Or top 5.
I
two-way
value
impact,
two-way
okay.
impact. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially relative to position. That's why, like, MJ to me, you know what I'm saying? He's a great player. I think MJ is the greatest shooting guard of all time. You know what I'm saying? But to say he's better than Wilt Chamberlain, what the fuck? That makes no sense. That
Wait,
makes-
I'm
if
gonna
you
give you.
think about it, it's retard. I mean, I can't say that.
Wait,
Sorry. It's stupid. It's stupid. If you think about it, it's dumb. Like you name a reason why MJ is better than Wilt Chamberlain.
Mm.
Name
I
one
think-
reason besides people shooting and dribbling. How is he
I
better
think
than
I
Wilt
think
think
Chamberlain?
MJ
you're-
was a better. I think MJ was a better scorer than Wilt Chamberlain as well, and I think he was
think
a
you're
better
winning the
passer than
show,
Wilt
bro.
Chamberlain and a
That's
playmaker.
You're winning the show, bro.
That's arguable. You know what I'm saying?
Arguable. Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan, I don't think is.
I think MJ clears Wilt Chamberlain offensively, but I think Chamberlain clears him defensively. So
Do you think he clears Wilt Chamberlain offensively? The center who lead the league in
Yes.
assists. You think the center?
hey, based on leading the league in assists, they didn't track turnovers, but I can guarantee you he's averaging like 7 turnovers a game, leading the league in assists.
But first of all, I can guarantee you that from a person that has watched the game, he was averaging like 2 or 3.
I can
Which is-
guarantee
which
you
is
from
normal
someone else
for a
who watches
center.
the game that he was averaging like 7 turnovers.
He was not
Like,
averaging. And what
That guy was.
is
You know
this?
how many times he was in the post trying to throw those passes over the top like it was Bill Walton and just getting intercepted, or he was throwing
By
over the
who?
top because
By who? Bill Russell? Obviously,
he didn't play the Celtics every game. He didn't play the Celtics every game.
What game? What game? Okay, first of all, what games have you watched? If you like off the top
I
of your
don't
head.
know what game I watched like 1962 against fucking the Boston.
Whoa!
Celtics.
Look.
The first F bomb from Mars. Holy shit.
Aaron
The
Bridges.
Dubbonaires
I
are
appreciate
taking
you,
over.
Aaron Bridges. You brought this out of the depths from Mars. I never thought I'd see
You know what it is? You know what it is? Because I mentioned Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? His dad. I mentioned Michael Jordan. His dad.
I'm not that attached to Michael Jordan. I'm just saying I don't remember if I watched 1962 against the Cincinnati Royals or whether I watched him when he was on Philly playing against the Golden
Look,
State
I can
Warriors.
say, look. If only 2% of Michael Jordan's highlights existed on film, right? And I saw only him playing in the early 80s, I'd be like, oh, he had no jumper. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
all know-
I can only judge based on what I saw. Can I not? I mean,
yeah, but how many games?
based on what I saw, that guy was a turnover machine.
What are you talking about? What are you
That guy, from what I saw, he was a turnover machine.
in his passing.
Yes.
All right, so look. If you're gonna make up stuff about Will, I can make stuff about Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Because that
You
based
can
on what I see,
make up stuff if you want. I'm just telling you what I saw. I mean, you can disagree with my eyes. I'm just saying.
but
from
you
what
also
I
said
saw,
you
he
also
turned the
said
ball
you also
over.
got wrong. You also got a lot of stuff wrong about Magic Johnson though. You know what I'm saying? Let's not forget that.
Yeah, I said
Let's
that
not
he
forget
didn't
that.
guard line. I said he didn't guard line
Let's
up
not
on and I was
forget
wrong.
that.
Bro, I'm
I said that. I mean, I literally said that on the panel that I.
Well,
not gonna
let's-
lie. I'm over this
and he
Wilt
did.
Chamberlain shit.
Hold on. Let's actually sit down and think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Thought about it.
And think
Oh, damn.
JD,
Stay
you was
shifty.
supposed- you was supposed
Kyrie
to let it
Irving is
ride.
the most skilled scorer in NBA history. Prove me wrong. P.S. Y'all boys be getting me through work. Love from Australia.
Do you
I
agree,
think it's
Mars?
him. I think it's him or Kobe, most skilled scorer.
Alright, cool.
Yo, Aaron, I'm sorry I did you so dirty, but I am over Wilt Chamberlain, bro. I'm sorry. And I want to know what DJ's bringing because he said he had some less spice. DJ?
My father's a DJ.
Bro, your father's
thought your
everything.
father was a
DJ or he's
deacon.
an actual DJ?
He used to be a DJ.
He does it all, huh?
Yeah, your
Yeah,
dad
but he
sounds
never
like
did
that
like
at
clubs
least
or
grades.
anything like that. It's more like get-togethers and gatherings and stuff. Oh, it's pretty
Church
fun.
functions.
Hey, so who
Yeah.
got more personalities, you or your dad?
Maybe my dad when he was younger. My dad was a very angry individual though, so I think maybe I think I have more multiple personalities. My dad was
Hey.
mainly angry when he was young.
So angry dad dub, pastor dad dub, DJ dad dub.
Yeah, angry dad does crazy.
And
Yo, DJ, are you here, bro?
And crypto dad dub.
Man, I don't know. He unmuted his thing, but we can't hear him, so bring up Mass. Mass has some stats for Euro. This should be fun.
No, I don't.
UMass.
No, I don't have any stats for Euro. I really want to get a good idea of like how everyone feels about like the idea of stats, like philosophically, because on the last show or the show before that, Mars and Euro were debating Rudy Gobert's perimeter defense, and to me, you all were basically disagreeing on just the frequency at which Rudy Gobert gets cooked on the perimeter, and Euro said that Rudy Gobert gets cooked like all the time, and Mars was saying he never gets cooked in.
No. So we basically established what part of the argument we have where the disconnect is, because we agreed on pretty much everything, right? So even the stuff like the argument that I brought, Mars agreed with, and the argument that Mars brought, I agreed with too. Where it fell apart was whatever he sees, like the scenario that plays out that in my opinion proves the point that he's not an elite perimeter defender. He doesn't see it as often as I do. And
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
No, I'm saying you're saying that the thing that makes Rudy Gobert, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying that the thing that Rudy Gobert, or that keeps Rudy Gobert from being an elite perimeter defender, like him where he's like getting switched onto the perimeter and then he has to guard someone and then like the play gets broken down, but then it's not really being counted against them in the like points per possession on like Synergy or whatever stat site Mars is looking at. And so, Mars is looking at that stat and he's saying that the stat is saying that he's an elite perimeter defender. And then you're saying, well, my eyes are saying that it's not picking that up. And I don't really agree with the points per possession or whatever that the stat is suggesting. Right. But for me, my thing is basically like, you can disagree on like what the stat is saying, but why don't you like yourself go in and like, I would just be interested in like, if you were to like watch, the next 10 Rudy Gobert games you watch, just track what you actually think counts as these isolation defensive possessions.
I'm on that. I was fucking trying to watch the Timberwolves game the other day, and that motherfucker sitting on the bench. So listen, man. I was ready. To fucking send this shit in our private group chat to Mars. Like, yeah, Mars, you see, fucking Rudy go. But I couldn't do it. But definitely, this is one of my things. This is like my side project now for this upcoming season. It was going to be a surprise for Mars, so thank you for blowing that and ruining that.
To prove that Rudy is a mid perimeter defender.
No,
we gotta start having like watch defender. Parties though.
No, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because I can show Mars 1,000 examples of exactly what I'm talking about, and he will just say, "Yeah, I think there are 1,000 examples of," So like, I would have to look at every time what I'm talking about is happening, tally that up and show it to Mars, and then he would have to, do the same thing on the other side of the argument and show it to me, and then we can just compare the numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But what I'm saying is you kind of need to do that because you're talking about literally thousands of examples of it, and if you don't look at any, I mean, it's something.
And
that
I don't care about Rudy Gobert like that. I know Mars probably don't either, and
Yeah.
I don't think the rest of the basketball community cares about Rudy Gobert like that either. So like, it's
I think what Mars cares about is people act as if he's like a liability. I mean, I could agree in a sense where like for his position, he's a good perimeter defender. But when I compare it to like everybody else, based on what I've seen in the postseason is a good highlight of this. A lot of times he does get beat off. I think they could get away with some. Oh, wow. I did not realize what I just did. Okay. Well, I'm going to continue anyway. But I think a lot of times in the regular season, they could get away with a lot of things. Mars mentioned the pick and roll stat to me when he gets switched onto a defender. And I realized that stat was miscued because a lot of times when the pick and roll happens, Rudy Gobert is able to be in drop coverage and it makes the ball and the ball handling usually goes to the paint, making it easier for Rudy Gobert to play defense. So that was one stat that I realized is kind of misconstrued because a lot of times where a pick and roll happens in the regular season, Rudy's able to drop coverage. The defender comes to him, so he really doesn't have to play out on the perimeter like that. Don't really know about. I didn't see it for the isolation scoring, but that was one that I saw. Yo, can you guys get rid of it, bro? Like, come on, son. Like, come on, bro.
Yo, cut the crap down. That's crazy.
Yo, come on, bro. Now y'all just ignored everything I just said. I just made some good fucking points, and now y'all ignored all of that. Fuck me.
Oh my god.
Yo, man, today is
Yeah, Dub, my bad. I didn't hear anything. I was too busy laughing at what slipped out of your mouth.
Pause,
Now you made it worse.
bro. Now you made it really worse.
Yes,
Jesus
I
Christ.
did. On
I was
purpose.
saying that stat about Rudy Gobert and him guarding the pick and roll guy. It's kind of misconstrued because a lot of times the defender comes to the paint, which allows Rudy Gobert to play drop coverage, and he's able to play good defense off that. They have to settle for a tough mid-range shot because of his size. When they take him out in the paint, though, especially in the playoffs, what I've seen, it's not really good for him.
So where do you stand as far as that Rudy debate that Mars and I had?
People think that
No,
think
not
Rudy,
you. I'm talking about our guest. My bad. I forgot your name.
Damn, dog.
I thought he was talking to me. My bad, bro. Don't say damn dub me. I have beef with you.
Beef with me?
Yeah. I can't say it. I can't say it right now. But you know what? I'm gonna get your IG so I can say it. Because Jay told me not to say it. It's okay though. It's okay.
No, I know. See, now you bringing it up, and now you gonna make
no. It's fine. Just let it go. It's okay.
Okay.
Don't tell Euro though.
No, I was just. I mean, I didn't really have that much to say. I mean, I had a whole thing. I was basically just gonna say like, if to disregard stats is basically like to go to call your water bill company and basically say that the water bill company said that you used 60 gallons of water this week, but then you said I feel like I only use 30 gallons of water. My eye test told me I only use 30 gallons. So
yeah, that's not what I'm doing though. That's not what I'm doing though. I'm definitely not disregarding stats. And all I'm trying to do is point out the fact that there are stats that you can load onto another player based off of the mistakes that you made. So you can, like, for example, like you can have somebody that's foul prone, right? But if you're a help side defender and you have a shit, perimeter defender, and you consistently end up on the same side as this guy or whatever, you know what I mean? Or on the opposite side of this, so where you have to like be a help side, like all the fouls that you're catching or whatever, like to some degree, that's not all your fault. Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, stay in front of your man. Cut him off, you know what I mean? Force him baseline, stop sending him over the middle or whatever. Like, it's a team sport. Like, not everything is 100% you, and you are not 100% responsible for what just you do. You know what I mean? It's a link, and so that's all I'm saying. Like, just because there's a stat and each stat is assigned to an individual player doesn't mean that tells the full story. That's my only point. I'm not dismissing that though, and the example that I gave was calling Rudy Gobert an elite defender because it shows up on the stat sheet in a certain way doesn't necessarily tell the full story on that, which is something that Mars agreed with. And so, you know what I mean? That's what it is.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I just want – I mean, basically, I guess the issue is I just need like more like a more comprehensive view of like the actual like how often something like his defensive errors are, but you'd have to go really deep into it to do that, and no one really cares enough about Rudy Gobert to track how often he's getting blown by on the perimeter. So I can't really
man,
talk
maybe this becomes a thing now, and there's somebody that gets off on that and then creates a YouTube video about, oh, you know what, I researched the last 7 seasons and this is every time blah blah blah. Like, so who knows?
There's
man.
so much videos of Rudy Gobert getting exposed is crazy.
But I mean, that goes to the point that I always got to make when we talk about Rudy. He's supposed to get exposed when you're a 7-1 center, or 7. What is he? 7-2, 7-2, 7-3, whatever. So. You're supposed to get cooked by point guards when they switch on a pick and roll. That is just the nature of the game.
It's not even just
that's why they do that.
It's not even just that. I've seen this one video where it was talking about him and his drop coverage and how teams try to exploit that. I think one of the examples was the Golden State Warriors. There's a video on YouTube about that. Maybe that could be more of a system thing where I could give him some leeway. That could be Rudy Gobert just trying to be a help defender because he knows that everybody else is trash. But who knows, bro? I mean, it seems as if in his mindset, he has a pattern of, I have to go to the paint. I need to be in the paint. I need to play drop. And instead of just going out and just guarding on the perimeter or guarding to an open shooter. Like, maybe it's just a mental lapse that he just, for some reason, he just always wants to sag off. And that hurts his team. But who knows?
I mean, he obviously got defensive weaknesses, but when have you ever seen somebody just cook him in the post?
Jokic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, Jokic is a one-off, though.
Has Rudy ever stopped I'm not sure. Has Rudy ever stopped like Joel Embiid or Jokic?
I mean,
Bro,
what's
nobody
stopping?
stops them.
Yeah, you know.
What
And
do
the
you mean by
thing
stopping?
about Jokic
But this
too
is supposed to be the best defending big in the league. Like did he even
but
make
check
it
this
hard?
out though, because when I bring up Kawhi, I'm gonna run straight to this. I bring up Kawhi being a great defender in the finals. LeBron did what he did against Kawhi, so it's like, bro, good offense beats great defense. Not good defense, great defense every day of the week.
I was just curious.
Only thing you can do is try to contain somebody that's a good offensive player, and it's nothing. You're at their mercy. So like Rudy's gonna get cooked, but that doesn't mean that he's not better than everybody else that you can put in his position.
Well, if you DPOY though, bro, it's like I expect you to do something.
That's the thing though. Like you guys focus too much on his deficiencies and where he does get cooked on the floor, but you don't focus on the things that he actually does bring to the table. Which it's nobody else. And I'm trying to think, like, correct me. Who else can do that at that capacity? Protect the paint the way he does.
Oh, I think he might be the best one in the league.
You see, and that's really what it is. He gets that based on him being the anchor of a defense like that and being able to protect the rim, which is
you talking about Gobert?
Yeah.
You hijacking the whole discussion though. We're not talking about him being a rim protector. We're talking about him being an elite perimeter defender.
No, but that's my point though. We focus so much on his deficiencies, but we don't focus on his strengths. Anytime somebody talks about Rudy Gobert, they go straight to saying, "Oh, he's a trash defender. He got cooked in that Clippers series. He can't guard the perimeter." And that's the point. He's 7'3". How is he gonna guard the perimeter? It's dudes that's 6'3" that can't guard the perimeter. So how do we expect Rudy Gobert to be able to do that? It's damn near impossible.
You're not wrong.
But that's the thing that
Wembanyama
everyone argues against, Ron. Like for me personally, like I don't sit here and say that Rudy Gobert is I don't even think Rudy's a fucking ass defender.
Bro.
I think he's a great defender.
I've heard Rudy.
I just
Rudy
hate.
gets bashed
I just
much.
hate how people just try to sit here and say that he's just a good perimeter defender. In my opinion, I just don't. I think Bam Adebayo, in my opinion, is a better defender just because of his versatility, his ability to be a great rim protector in the league. On top of that, being a great perimeter defender in the league. So that's my main only thing. But Rudy's a great defender. You can't take that away from him. He's a monster.
All right, Master, we're gonna bring the next guest up. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. That was an interesting perspective, and thank you for clearing the air, Euro.
All good. Mars, did I misrepresent what you were saying in that argument?
No.
All right.
Hey Jay.
I didn't want to speak for you, you know.
No, I just want to say, can I shout out my thing real quick?
Yeah, you shout out whatever you want.
I was just gonna say, like, you know, with this spooky season right now, if you like horror movies and stuff, if you ever heard of the channel Dead Meat, I know them, and I make videos similar to that. So if you like the movie Halloween, The Thing, the movie X that came out this year, or I think I did a couple. Oh, The Mist. If you like any like horror movie like that, I made some like videos on my channel. It's same thing as my name, H2Mass. I've been working on it, put a lot of work into it. I'd appreciate anyone checking it out, but that's all it is.
You make films, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna check them out for sure. H2Mass, you said, yeah?
Yeah.
Yo, Mass, sure. DM me your stuff on Instagram. I'll check it out, and you know I'll post some of your stuff on my story and whatnot.
All right,
get some more people your way,
because it's gonna get 1 million views pretty soon. So, and I'm working on one right now. You know,
fire.
All right, bro. Keep grinding, bro.
Hey, this guy's a genius, by the way. Just so you know, chat. Just so you know, I won't leak anything, but just so you know. All right, man.
Yo, check the.
Be careful what you say now.
Yo,
I am.
Drop your link in the chat too. I think there's some guys that are interested.
Bass, you sure you don't got nothing nasty to say?
I got nothing nasty to say.
I would love for our editors to clip your ass up.
Yeah, it would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah.
You sure? I know you got something nasty up your sleeves.
Nothing.
No nasty takes. You got nasty questions. He's leaving the nasty takes up here. All right, Mass. Appreciate you, bro. Make sure you guys check out H2 Mass. Let's get a football breakdown up here.
I love football breakdown.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir, baby.
That's a great kit. That's a great kit.
Amazing.
See,
Henry.
that's beautiful. That's how you know he's gonna come with some elite takes right now.
Elite. What's up, Mars? Mars. I was talking to you about Kyrie and
Boston effect. We got a little spicy the first time we spoke.
Oh,
but,
you're the one who said that Kyrie made the team worse or whatever.
Yeah, but I respect your opinion. The only thing that is kind of weird when you say winning doesn't matter. You know, the perfect athlete to represent my take that winning matters absolutely and why his ranking is very weird. Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers actually won the playoffs, he would be a top 3 quarterback all time. There's about 10 plus quarterbacks I would take over Aaron Rodgers in playoff settings. I would take Eli over Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is just a different man in the playoffs.
How ridiculous to say.
Oh my God!
Wait. Just because Eli won?
No. It's because Aaron Rodgers is literally his ability that he displays. Okay, there's something to be said about you being able to pull out your ability or to use your ability in situations when there's an objective. Because otherwise, sports is just an exhibition.
Say that one more time.
There's something to
accolades falls into this category.
There's something to be said about you being able to maintain your ability or to raise your level when there's an objective on the line that is winning. Because
high pressure situations. Right?
Exactly. Because otherwise, it's just an exhibition. So Aaron Rodgers is legitimately a top 3 quarterback in the regular season all time. In the playoffs, this dude falters. This man shouldn't have only been to 1 Super Bowl. Like, he should be on way more Super Bowls, given his talent level, ability, and the teams he's playing in the playoffs. When he played Brady, right? Mm-hmm. When he played Brady,
football. Honestly, though, you want to come on the show tonight?
Nah, I'm not as well versed.
He said, nah, y'all ain't ready for me. Yo, listen, man, you are fucking my head up, though, bro. You talking football with a soccer jersey on a basketball podcast. Like, I don't know if I can handle this right
I
now,
watch
bro.
sports. I watch sports, so I analyze sports. But my whole thing, I'll get back to basketball real quick.
Hold on, you said you're not versed to talk football?
No, I'm not.
So why is your name Football Breakdown?
Don't do that.
Soccer.
Don't do that.
Oh, oops. I thought he was talking about real football.
The real football.
He was.
Pardon me.
He was talking about
Damn, what happened to him?
He got zapped, I think.
Damn, I love his comments all the time too. I'm mad he got zapped. He's
Dude,
lying about Aaron Rodgers.
If you guys remember, Football Breakdown was on when Shaq was last on.
Yeah,
It was going crazy.
He called him a down break ball foot.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what Shaq called him.
Shaq tried to go in on him.
Damn, that is tough, man. That is tough. But this is a perfect time to recognize our regular and elite YouTube members, at least. Yo, shout out to everyone who's been supporting the Players' Choice channel, man. Ever since we turned those memberships on, you guys have been showing a lot of love. Everyone from the casual to the regular to the elite members, man. Like I always say, this is free content for y'all. You guys never have to send us any. You don't have to send us super chats. You don't have to become members, but it is a way to support us and support the channel and allow us to continue doing these things, create more content, create more shows. So we always appreciate any time that you guys show support like that. So shout out to the regular and elite members on the Players' Choice YouTube channel. We got Brian Fawcett, Nate Richmond, Devin Mabry, Broctopus, iOS Inc., TC the Don, Gideon, Tyson Thomas, Ace Boogie, Devontae Bailey, King J, Zeke Knoll, Kendrick, 40KOW, Dorian Clayton, Sacred Gaming, Grande Jones, Tino Bolton, Uncle Tito, Real Max Sauce, Josh P23, Straightway Georgia, Elder Rufus, Nick T, Bait, K-Dog, Malik, Jagar's Underworld, MC Robinson, Kenyon White, Big Meech, James Gaz, 123. Speaking of Nick T, I haven't seen or heard from Nick T. I need to go and just look at.
He found chapter 11 or something.
I need to go look at. I need to go look at comments from past videos because he doesn't usually join the live shows. It's like, you know, every time he comes in, he's like, "Oh, got to catch a live show." So I hope, Nick T, I hope that you're doing well, man.
Nick T, we need you to pop in on
Nick
T.
Battle of the Knicks was elite.
Yeah, that was great, man.
Nick taking over.
Can we ask the viewers and listeners, well, I guess just the viewers, to like the video, please?
Yeah, please. That is the entry fee. If you have not paid the entry fee to Players' Choice, please click that like button. Please click that subscribe button. All right, you're back.
Okay, so what I was saying about just winning in general, like winning matters because you as a player, right, you have to prove that in the moments when there's a pressure situation, can you maintain your level or elevate it? And that's why, as much as I like Aaron Rodgers as a QB, the dude just falls in the playoffs. In that playoff game with Tom Brady, when he threw 3 picks in the second half, how many points did Green Bay get off those 3 picks? 3.
I'm sorry. What you say? What happened?
Remember? Do you remember when Tampa Bay threw 3 picks coming off of halftime?
Yeah.
Do you know what Aaron Rodgers did with those 3 picks with great field position?
I think it was only
3 points.
Scored, yeah.
3 points. He's had plenty of opportunities to beat Brady, beat these so-called great teams in the playoffs, and he's failed miserably. Like, this is why it matters, because you have to, and just in general, you have to be able to pull out your ability in times when it's the highest pressure, because otherwise, because those situations validate your ability. So that's why I think winning matters. And I understand there's situations where it's just great players on bad teams that play against superior teams and they just don't win. And those situations happen. But for players like Aaron Rodgers, when you evaluate them against other greats, he's been in positions where he's had the better team or had the equal team, and he just doesn't come through. Like, he has to at least, if he had like 3 Super Bowl appearances, I would have a different opinion on Aaron Rodgers. But he had an early Super Bowl appearance in his career and then never reached those heights since. Like,
so to clarify on what happened against the Bucks, we have to acknowledge the fact that, number one, the Bucks defense is phenomenal, and there was a play, especially in that fourth quarter, I remember especially, Allen Lazard had a TD pass. It was an RPO option, and Allen Lazard didn't look for the ball to come his way, and Aaron Rodgers threw a dot to him, and that could have led to a TD. That's one. And when we look back at that game and what Aaron Rodgers did in that game, he played phenomenal. He was getting pressured a lot of times. He got sacked 5 times. But despite that, he still threw for over 300 yards and 3 TDs. I think he had a QB rating of 100 as well.
Let me tell you my biggest.
So I can't really put that on. I can't put that on Aaron Rodgers.
Even in games when he wins, this man pouts over an incomplete pass. Like, bro, get to the next play and like galvanize your guys to win. When things start going bad, and this is not like conjecture. It's backed up by numbers. Dude doesn't have that many comeback wins, less than some very mid or quarterbacks that we don't even want to mention. Like, Aaron Rodgers just lacks the composure that a Brady, Manning, or Mahomes or some of these other high guys have in these high-pressure situations, and that's where he falters.
Which Manning?
Both.
Wait, where's this going? Were you going to relate this to hoop?
Yeah, I'm going to get back to basketball. Forget that. That's all I want to say about winning, because that was Mars's point. To basketball.
Y'all pull up to Gridiron tonight.
Mars missed
at
your
9
point.
Eastern time.
You don't know.
No, I understand the point. I just don't know how it relates to me.
No. That was just my point about winning in general. But in basketball, CP3 versus Kawhi. So people forget about Kawhi, and this is where I agree with you, Dub. Kawhi joined the Toronto Raptors after they just won 59 games. We act like Kawhi joined this like startup team that like was not good. They got swept they only lost to LeBron, who went to the finals. This is the only team that the Raptors were losing to. They weren't losing to like some bum teams. They ran to their boogeyman, which was LeBron, and that's who they lost to every single time. That team was loaded. The only difference between that team is obviously they traded when so it was Kawhi for DeRozan, but Kawhi's a better player than DeRozan, and it was a 59-win team. So what did y'all think was going to happen when he played?
People acknowledge that, though.
They got Danny Green and Marcus Gasol. Not a lot of people.
Not really. You guys didn't mention it this whole time I was on the podcast. And not only that, this is what you didn't mention. When Kawhi left and went to the Clippers, who had a better record? The Clippers or Toronto next year?
Toronto.
Crazy. So how many players can leave a team, go to create another team, and the team that you left they had a lower ceiling, obviously, but that just goes to speak to how good that Toronto team and organization was that Kawhi joined, and we give him a lot of credit for. And plus,
but football though, what's you want me to call you football, or what's your actual name?
I'm not giving my government. You can call me football.
All right, so I'm gonna call you football. All right, football. Check this out.
He's like, Ron, you're moving kind of federal. Chill with
that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you could give me your nickname. Like, I don't gotta call you if your name's Gregory. I don't have to call you.
I call
Gregory.
you Henry because you really look like Henry.
It's Henry. This is you definitely don't watch football.
Right. 100%. Henry.
TT.
Yo, so Henry, check me out, Henry. We're not gonna act like those teams weren't good up to that point, and like they weren't finishing at the top of their conference, and like the Raptors weren't
they're amazing.
Team.
Yeah.
Okay, then. So that even goes more to my point. They weren't able to do it with a guy like DeMar DeRozan.
Because they're running into who?
LeBron.
Did Kawhi run into LeBron on the team? But here's the other thing. Kawhi didn't play that well in the finals. He was mid. Bro, they should have won in 5 if they didn't choke away that fourth quarter. And that was without, like, Bro, and if you talk about Game 6, the most pivotal game, who really stepped up? Was it Kawhi or Kyle Lowry who had the better game? Because I remember Kyle Lowry come out firing in Game 6.
I mean, Kyle Lowry was.
I remember Siakam come out firing in Game 6.
He was supposed to do that. He was supposed to do that. I mean,
now he's supposed to do that.
Well,
Come on,
he was
bro.
an all-star. What are you talking about? So what was he supposed to do? Go out there and play like shit?
No one expected Kyle Lowry to come out, hit 3 threes in a row, and just start busting.
He was an all-star. Kyle Lowry had been getting down.
We gotta stop using all-star. All NBA is the only thing that matters when I'm evaluating players. All-star is a popularity.
Kyle Lowry was a top 10 point guard in the NBA at that time.
Top 10.
So he was supposed to go out there and play good.
So you're supposed to go out there and bust up the Golden State Warriors. What was Kawhi doing?
What do you mean? What was Kawhi doing?
Shooting 40%
MVP shit. That's what he was
doing.
doing.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't playing that Finals well. MVP his Finals MVP his Finals MVPs are some of the least impressive Finals MVPs, for being completely honest.
Okay, so I'm gonna get back to my point.
By the way, in 2013, Danny Green would have won Finals MVP if the Spurs would have won. So
okay. All right, so you saying that though is not just a knock to Kawhi, it's a knock to the other 3 Hall of Famers that was on the team too. But fast forwarding to Toronto, they were already a good team, right? But they weren't able to get it done. Now I'm saying because LeBron. But let me get to my point. If you take DeRozan off that team and put Kawhi on that team, they have a chance to beat that Cavs team, a much greater chance.
Yeah, they do, but it's still without the fact that Kawhi ran up against a super injured team. That's the only reason they won. And then he was able to have the luxury to join the best organization in the league, and that'd be like fourth fiddle on that team. No one knew Kawhi's name, bro. You have Ginobili, Parker, Duncan, and then Pop in terms of pedigree on that Spurs team ahead of Kawhi. And then Kawhi only got MVP because he guarded LeBron to a 58% shooting. LeBron was going crazy. No one was stopping LeBron.
Who has ever stopped LeBron?
Huh?
Who has ever stopped LeBron? That's a terrible narrative that you guys put.
Well, that's the only reason Kawhi got the MVP then. Like they should have, as Mars said, it should have been a team MVP award if that ever existed in 2014. Like the Spurs were just better. I rewatched that series, bro. You know what? I know the Heat were cooked in general, and LeBron was really carrying against the Nets when he had 49. That man played one of the best games I ever saw, and they won by like 2 points because the rest of the team was cooked. D-Wade was fat already and out of shape. Bosh was not moving the same. LeBron was the only one moving.
Don't do Bosh like that.
Huh?
Don't do Bosh like that.
I won't do Bosh like that. Bosh is a great player, but in that particular series, after 4 finals runs, the other 2 stars were cooked, bro. Like, let's not act like LeBron wasn't carrying that last series or that last run in Miami. And also, KD is the Shaq of perimeter players. Y'all overrate his handle because his jump shot's so good.
So Shaq is overrated?
No, Shaq is amazing. But what I'm saying is, when we talk about KD's perimeter jump shot, right, and his handle, especially his handle, which he carries on every possession, it's insane. Like, he has like a few moves that he really gets up, but because of his height and he can shoot over everyone, we think his handle is better than it is because the ball goes in more. But his handle in isolation, if you just isolate his handles in itself, he's not great. Like, if you ask KD to bring the ball up the court every play, he's going to get 6 or 7 turnovers a game. Yes. Did you watch the
Bucks? Well, hold on. No. Are you asking him to run point guard, or are you asking him to just bring the ball up?
Like, bro, you just saw in the Boston series.
Well, I mean, come on.
That's
bro.
more than just ball handling. You
can't say that, bro. Like, because it's a reason that you have a point guard. So it's like, KD's
not getting ripped like that. I don't.
Yes, he is. No, yes, he is. The reason you don't think KD's not getting ripped like that is because KD hasn't had the ball handling responsibilities that you've seen. His ball hasn't been in his hands as much. What you gotta realize about KD, right? KD's the only player to be the previous MVP, to join the current 2-time MVP, and then leave and his previous teammate wins MVP.
Hold on, we're getting off this ball handling thing. Why would you want KD to max out his dribbles though? Because he's so efficient at getting to his spot and getting his shot off. Like, why would you even want that?
I wouldn't want him to max out his dribbles. What I'm saying more so about KD is that we overrate his ball handling. What KD's role should be playing is an off-ball shooter, catch and shoot, moving off the ball, or isolation scorer. But we give KD when we compare KD and LeBron, we're like, there's so many times where I hear KD comparisons like, oh, KD has great ball handling, oh, KD's passing is so good. I'm like, bro, why are we giving KD these plaudits and accolades when we've never seen it? And when we give him the responsibility to do so, he looks like what he does in the Boston series.
All right, perfect.
When Russell Westbrook got hurt and you didn't have an MVP point guard next to him in Memphis, what happened? It looked very similar to this Boston series. Maybe KD without an MVP point guard looks very regular.
So this is what I have to say to that, number one.
I mean,
of course, hold on, Ron.
Well,
of course, when you compare him to LeBron, to me, LeBron's a whole different animal.
Compare him to Paul George.
Paul George has better handles as well, but KD's still a better offensive player.
Maybe.
Hands down, because Paul George does turn over the ball too, the same way that you're getting on Kevin Durant for. So Kevin Durant, what I say that he's the ball handler, I can say that you're seeing, oh yeah, it's a little bit overrated because a lot of people were saying it's like top 5, top 10 in the league, which wasn't true. But to sit here and say, oh, if he's handling the ball majority of the time, based off his ball handling, he's gonna have 5 turnovers. I don't see KD get ripped like that. I don't see KD. He was getting ripped in that Boston Celtics series. You want to know why? He was getting
ripped in OKC too, which you don't realize. In that what are you talking about? KD almost averages as many turnovers as assists in OKC in the playoffs. He was not a good ball handler. But prior to Golden State.
And don't you think that there's more factors to that than just him and his ball handle skills?
No. That's him and his ball handling. He's not a good ball handler. I watch KD dribble. He dribbles low.
So if he makes a bad pass, that goes to the turnovers. That has nothing to do with his ball handling.
Most of the turnovers that I see from KD are not from passing. That's what I'm saying. It's literally from him getting stripped straight up because of his low dribble. It's very easy to if you really pay attention to KD's game, his dribbles are not hard to read as a defender if you study his game. It's a crossover, double crossover, or a hezzy pull up, or a hezzy to a drive. Like it's not.
I hear what you're saying, but bro, even with that, bro, KD's still unstoppable.
Hold up, bro. Hold up, because it's not even like that.
He might lose the ball and get ripped every now and then, but he don't.
The turnovers.
They're picking on KD.
The turnovers come from the system. You feel me? Like the Boston Celtics, him getting all those turnovers, that's due to this defensive system they have and forcing him to make crazy decisions and putting so much pressure on him. Same thing in OKC as well. It's not that the guy who's defending him, oh yeah, I'm about to rip this shit from him. No, a lot of times they're sending help to him for him to lose the ball.
So the reason KD was losing the ball is because of the system. All his main deficiencies are because of the system. And this is what I'm saying about KD.
The defensive system that they had in play. Yes, did you see that series against the Celtics?
KD,
everybody was on him.
Bro, KD in the post. This is how I know KD.
He wasn't getting ripped by Jason Tatum.
Yes, he was.
He was.
Every now and then he was getting ripped by everyone. Bro, I see Daniel Tice even rip him, bro.
No, listen. How that's even worse. Bro, let me ask you a question.
Off of the help, JT was guarding him. Daniel Tice came from the help.
How many times have you seen KD get blocked? His jump shot get blocked?
No, not a lot of times.
Okay, so do you see how many times Jason Tatum did it straight up when it was 1-on-1 in that series?
How many times? I didn't see a lot.
It was at least 3 times. I seen KD
he blocked him a few times.
Literally, it was 1-on-1. So what I'm saying about this is in the playoffs, defenses gear in on your tendencies where you don't see in the regular season. So guys can look way better in the regular season than doing the playoffs when they're gearing toward you. And same thing what I have my Ben. This is why I never understood the hype about Ben Simmons, because you're literally playing 4-on-5 basketball when this man is out, and this is why the Nets will fail next year as well. Bro, I'm trying to tell you about KD, dude. Like, what y'all think about KD is not the same. Like, I love KD. He's a great scorer, but my only issue with KD is how people overrate his entire skill set, because I think he's had the most boosted career based on the people he's played with. That's just my opinion.
Hasn't everyone?
No, not like this. Bro, KD, bro. No, listen. Let me tell you 3, and I have to go have a meeting.
Everybody has. LeBron has had Dwayne Wade. Stephen Curry's had the Warriors.
Let me explain this. I got this, and so I would dare someone to challenge me about this. KD's move to Golden State is the single most uncompetitive move I've seen in like any sport. And I've watched football. The only one I can think of is actually this guy when he went to Barcelona after losing the UCL final in 2006 to join Eto'o and Ronaldinho. Insanity. But this man KD, right? First of all, he had three all not all-star, all NBA players in OKC. Pretty sure Russ was second team. KD was first team. Harden was third team and 6th man of the year. And Ibaka led the league in blocks and was, I think, first team all defense. He left that team to join a team that averaged 70 wins over the past 2 years. You remember, Golden State won 67 the prior year. So this team averaged 70 wins the last 2 years. You joined a team that only lost 9 games, right? Who was the previous MVP before Steph? Who won MVP before Steph?
Who was it? LeBron?
KD.
KD. Yeah.
So let me get this straight. You want to prove you're the best player in the world. You have a championship caliber squad. You're up 3-1. The 3-1 lead had never been broken and had never been come back from in the conference finals history before until that series.
So the
now,
point.
wait. That's one unprecedented thing. Then you're the MVP who joined the two-time MVP who's unanimous. Never happened before, right? Not only do you leave OKC to go to Golden State, the guy you left wins MVP the very next year. So that means KD left the previous the current MVP to join the current MVP, and then the next MVP was on his team the previous year. Like, it's insane to me the amount of talent that KD's played with for him to win and go to the finals. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not gonna say nothing.
All right, yo, football. Appreciate you tapping in, bro. We're gonna move on to the next guest. But yeah, that was heat.
Hey, football, you're wrong about Kawhi too.
Why am I wrong about Kawhi?
No, Ron.
Kawhi played less games than
immediately made Toronto a championship.
LeBron also left the East, though.
Ron, let it go.
LeBron left the East because Kawhi came. That's why.
That's crazy.
He about to lead the West, too. He about to run his ass back to Cleveland.
Oh, you hating, Ron.
Kawhi back.
CP3 is a better player than
back. Hey, I got a new phrase for y'all. Why back?
Can I shout out something real quick?
Go ahead.
You guys are great shouters. Keep it going, man. Football breakdown. Hopefully, I'll be making more football videos. I do want to talk more soccer, Mars. So if you're open to it, I love football. That's really my sport. Like, we can really
go on the footy show. Go on the footy show.
Hit me up, Mars.
Set it up.
Yes, sir.
Hit us on hit us on IG, and we'll figure out how to coordinate that. Get you on like the next show or two.
Y'all stay blessed. Love you guys.
You too,
all right, bro.
All right,
Peace.
Bro. Be safe, Henry.
All right, Cash Out. Take us home, bro.
I sat through all that nonsense. I can't believe it.
It's fine, bro.
Get off your chest.
So I'm hearing Chris Paul's name in the same sentence as Kawhi, and I don't like that.
Okay.
There's no way, whatever his name was that was just there, is saying that Toronto was a contender before Kawhi. They wasn't going to win regardless. It wasn't going to happen.
Thank you.
They were going to get to Golden State and lose. Now, I think Kawhi already is top 20, like all time, just from how efficient he plays the game. Because when he got injured, what year was that? 20?
Every year.
There you go. 2021. Because he's only been hurt in the playoffs, twice? 2017 and 2021. And
2018 he didn't play, and then 2022 he didn't play as well.
What was 2018?
2018 they lost in the first round to Golden State.
And he wasn't playing. He wasn't
playing. That's why they were the 8th seed. That's why they were the 7th seed, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then 2022 they missed the playoffs. They didn't play a game.
When he tried to leave San Antonio. And, But
in a 5-year prime, he's had 4 playoff runs, and he's been hurt in 2 of them.
Yeah, how many did he win?
1.
And how long was Chris Paul's prime, and how many did he win? That's the main point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, because like I said, you have Kawhi above him because you care about winning titles.
And even when we strip that, Kawhi is a much better player than Chris Paul. Because hold on, because you guys want to talk about impact, right? Mars, that's where you go to your impact on winning.
Mm-hmm.
When has Kawhi Leonard ever carried a fucking team by himself? When has he ever floor raised a team? Every time Kawhi Leonard has been lead to a great team
by himself, Dub?
Yes, as in floor raising his team, the way that a Chris Paul has done. This man has been on a great team ever since he's been fucking drafted,
How high
bro.
did he lift that floor?
He's ceiling rose. It's great. Like the dude said before, he had
ceiling did he raise?
The Raptors and the Spurs. What the fuck are you talking about?
The Raptors in the Spurs?
Yes, the Raptors had
No, I'm talking about Chris Paul. I thought you were talking about Chris Paul.
No, Chris Paul. Yeah, Chris Paul floor raised. Chris Paul floor raised. You talking about impact, right? We're talking about impact.
Yes.
How am I to say that Kawhi Leonard is not? How am I to say that Chris Paul is not more impactful than Kawhi Leonard? How can you say that Kawhi Leonard is more impactful than fucking Chris Paul? Because
if
of a
you
ring?
take those teams, no, if you take any of those teams and swap them out, like you did Kawhi and DeMar DeRozan, you swapped it out and they got a championship. If you take any of the years and swap Kawhi with Chris Paul's not getting a ring on those teams. On top of that, Kawhi will go and do better in his situation.
How?
The teams are built for Kawhi. Like Toronto was built for Kawhi. Like, what's Chris
and
Paul and Kyle Lowry
and
gonna do? They're just the same.
Yeah, that's a
person.
weird thing. That's a weird thing,
time
Ron.
out. Now we can go with the teams that are built for Chris Paul.
Yeah, Kawhi, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan is not making it past the second round. I promise you.
Okay,
they're not.
all right. Now I guarantee if you put Kawhi on the Rockets, that's a whole different team. A whole different.
They was
team.
gonna win.
They got hurt.
He got hurt. What do we? They was the best offense in the regular season.
We'll do that. Put Kawhi on the Rockets. 2018. Kawhi didn't play. Now what? They don't win.
You know what? I was going to go on a date with Halle Berry last week, but guess what? I ain't have no gas.
So wait,
understand the Rockets. He didn't play either, so they still don't win. You have to assume Kawhi plays, so why not assume Chris Paul plays?
He played in 2019. They wasn't winning in 2019.
2019, that was the worst year
in 2019.
If you put Kawhi on the Suns team, they're a better team.
Golden State.
Okay. That Rockets team,
and the Raptors team beat the Warriors because KD was hurt. Correct? Or do you think Kawhi and the Raptors beats the healthy Golden State Warriors?
That Golden State Warriors team is an all-time team. So I'm not gonna say that.
He got hurt in the Rocket series, and when there was one more game to win. So the Warriors were up 3-2. KD got hurt, and then he missed the next game and he won.
Playing, and he could win 2 more games. So.
Okay, you believe that? So if you think Kawhi can beat the healthy Golden State Warriors, if you put Kawhi 2018 on Toronto, when Golden State are healthy in the finals, do they win?
2018, so it's not gonna win.
2017 Kawhi on Toronto Raptors, the same Toronto Raptors, do they beat Golden State in the finals when they're healthy?
2017, I don't even think they beat the Cavs. That team is just.
Okay, 2018. Imagine Kawhi is healthy on Toronto. Did they beat the Golden State Warriors healthy in the finals?
With who?
Toronto. The same Toronto team.
You're replacing DeMar DeRozan.
The same Toronto team. You replaced DeMar DeRozan with Kawhi in 2018. Do they win?
I think they lose in 6.
Okay, so guess what? Kawhi won a ring because the Golden State Warriors were unhealthy. You agree that if the Warriors were healthy any other year, just like 2017, 2018, Kawhi loses no matter the situation. So Kawhi can win a ring against the team that wasn't healthy. That's what he can do.
Okay, but don't negate what he did along the way.
What he did along the way was great. When he beat Orlando, that was fantastic. When he beat the Philadelphia,
was it the Heat that he beat that year?
No, he beat Orlando, Philadelphia, and Toronto.
Okay, and that was in great fashion.
That was excellent. That was excellent.
And he was guarding Giannis too.
Yeah, that was excellent.
Nobody's taking that away.
No one's saying Kawhi wasn't good. I'm saying Kawhi in his career has had, in his prime, since Kawhi has been a top 5 player in the NBA. 2017, he gets hurt in the playoffs. 2018, he misses damn near the whole year, doesn't play in the playoffs. 2019, he has a great run, and by cash out's own admission, they would lose in the finals if the team was healthy, but it's a great run nonetheless. 2020, what happens? He blows a 3-1 lead. 2021, he gets hurt in the playoffs. 2022, he doesn't play in the playoffs. So guess what? Kawhi has had one complete playoff run in his whole prime. One complete playoff run. You're going to say that's enough to put him over Chris Paul.
You guys keep bringing up injuries. You guys keep bringing up injuries, and this is a two-way street. That's why I don't want to go down this injury route. You see, I haven't even brought up this.
I agree, it's a two-way street. I'm saying Kawhi has had one complete playoff run that has ended in success in his career in his 5-year prime.
Two. He got 2 rings.
Oh my God, he was a role player, bro. Come on, son.
Chris Paul was a role player too. When he was in the finals,
he was a second option at least. Kawhi wasn't a second option,
and Kawhi played better than Chris.
Oh my God, in the finals, not for the season. Are you crazy? 2014, he played better than Chris Paul.
Kawhi's job offensively was to catch and shoot the ball, and he made his free. That was his job.
You can take any team that Chris Paul's been on, take him off the team, insert the backup point guard, and I'm talking about putting a backup point guard in there, and put Kawhi on that team, and they are a better team. From New Orleans to Los Angeles Clippers. How would? Can I finish my point? From New Orleans to the Los Angeles Clippers, to the Houston Rockets, to the Phoenix Suns today, if you put Kawhi on that team, they are a better team.
Let me ask you this. How dynamic can the fucking Clippers be without Chris Paul? You need a ball handler to create Lob City, so how is that even going to work?
Look, Kawhi's the number one option. Their defense gets better, and their offenses just ran through Kawhi.
Their defense gets better. You acting like Chris Paul was a scrub, bro.
I'm not saying he was a scrub.
If it gets better, it gets better If it gets better, let's say the fucking Clippers are 8, a 9, maybe a 10. It's not moving me. What about the dip in the offense? The offense is not going to be as dynamic with a Kawhi.
Offense dips that much. Like, don't just because.
Yeah,
Chris
just
Paul
take away one of the 5 best playmakers in the NBA, replace him.
Okay,
with a
and then you
Because he gave DeAndre Jordan money, bro.
The whole reason people keep saying the Clippers ain't winning is because they don't have a point guard to get guys like Kawhi and Paul George the ball where they need the ball because they're not great creating offense for the team. And now you're gonna say take Chris Paul off the team, put Kawhi in the Clippers, and he's not gonna have the same problem.
Okay, so I'm telling you, you're putting Kawhi, and I'm saying like obviously not Kawhi at that time, like a competent Kawhi. So we can say like
prime Kawhi,
prime Kawhi, 2019 Kawhi.
You put Kawhi on that team with DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin. You still got Jamal Crawford, JJ Redick.
The Clippers will be better with Chris Paul than Kawhi.
Yeah, they have
100%.
They have no playmaker.
No, they won't.
They need a playmaker. There's nobody there. It's the same way the 2019 Raptors wouldn't be as good with a Chris Paul.
The only reason Chris Paul blew a 3-1 lead is because he played 5 games that series.
And so why wasn't that Clippers team able to take that step forward?
Because they were always hurt. It was Chris Paul, Blake Griffin. They were getting hurt.
All right.
They were always getting hurt.
The same reason why Kawhi has had one. He's had 2 complete player fronts because they get hurt.
He was just hurt the past series against the Mavericks. He was hurt. When they lost,
I thought we were talking about the Clippers. Now we're talking about 2022.
I'm saying like because we keep bringing up his injury. So what was his reason for losing by 50 last season?
Luka Doncic.
He played badly. He's always hurt.
He played badly. It's fine.
He played badly at 36 years old. Okay.
This guy.
What about at 26 years old?
Yeah. What about at 26 years old?
What did he do then?
Either
got hurt or played badly. He either got hurt or played badly.
Okay.
It's one of the two with Chris Paul.
Played badly. Go ahead, Jay.
He either got hurt or played badly. It was one of the two.
There's only been 2 or 3 series where he played bad, bro.
2011 when he lost to the Lakers, not Lakers. Yeah, when he lost to the Lakers in round 1, I guess he played badly. He was meant to beat them, right? New Orleans were meant to beat the Lakers, the reigning champions, correct? That's what he was meant to do.
Look, if Chris Paul's as great as you guys are saying he is, he would have done a lot more.
Nobody's saying that. We're just we're trying to explain. Keep that same energy across the board. If you're not going to penalize one guy, then don't penalize the other. That's the whole point of this argument.
But Dub, you just said that, but this whole time you're up here bashing Kawhi for injuries.
Because that's what y'all do with Chris Paul. What have you been doing?
I haven't brought up an injury all show, and I said let's strip all of that and let's just talk about games.
You keep talking about titles. You keep talking about he didn't win. There's reasons why he didn't win.
All of that, and let's talk about.
But you keep running to Finals MVP. He won a ring. Then we're like, all right, no, we got to understand that the reason he didn't win a ring is because of injuries. Out of here,
let's strip everything.
No. We've already stripped everything we've talked about. Cash, we're about to hit some super chats. Do you have anything else to get off your chest before we move on?
No, I'm gonna save it for another time.
All right, bro. Thank you for tapping in. Super chats. Drink more water. Which gap is wider, Melo's defense or to Draymond's, or Melo's offense to Draymond's offense? It's the offense, right?
I don't know. It might be
it depends. If you're saying 2016 Draymond, I'd say the gap is bigger on defense.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're saying this Draymond, I guess it's probably the same, or the gap is bigger on offense.
Yo, it's like even because Melo clears Draymond like crazy on offense.
As a scorer, yeah.
Dorian Clayton, how about a PC Alliance tournament that plays out like Players Court? Y'all can perfect the details, but let's see what team can make it through. Dub and Mars, who can y'all cook in this tournament?
If you guys stop cheating, Dub, and making him go out in the first round, we win every time.
Fire.
They really do be doing that to me, Mars. I appreciate you.
Desmond Lawson, I think this was meant for football. He said, "You do it, red jersey."
He was talking about him saying that KD be getting ripped. Dude was like, "Well, you go rip him then."
Yeah, Bosnia Johnson, y'all stay trying to act like every star has done what KD has done. KD has never played without MVP caliber players next to him. He's overrated. Ooh, tough. Sent another super chat. Ron, let that Kawhi shit go. He never faced any real adversity and came out on top.
Wait, so when he played against Philadelphia, that wasn't real adversity? When he went and hit the game-winning shot? What are we talking about?
Yeah, when he traveled, it was great.
Adversity. They didn't call the travel. So
Next.
what are we talking about?
Next. Assist sent a super chat, said the Suns don't make the finals if AD is healthy. Bossman Johnson with another super chat. Ron, Kawhi is the real street clothes.
And he's the real finals MVP twice.
Dorian Clayton. Last super chat said, "Damn, this is what the team if Dub and Mars looks like. I like it. Keep cooking."
There we go.
Fisting to end the show. Any last words, last thoughts, fellas?
CP3 over Kawhi. That'll be easy.
Mars.
Dubbing S from us.
Let's go another one.
That's disgusting. But yeah, I think we're sitting at what, like 39,000 subscribers and some change, man. Let's get that to 40 today.
Bro, I'm glad you brought that up. I was looking at that like 10 minutes ago. We are going to hit 40,000 subscribers today. So that is heat. But if you haven't hit that button, hit that button right now.
Shout out to the community, to the PC fam, man. Much love. Everybody in the Discord, everybody on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, whatever that good shit is called. YouTube viewers, all that stuff, man. Make sure y'all follow our socials on Twitter.
Good shit. Pause. No, it's like, nah, I was trying to get you back for what you did to me earlier.
Yeah, you failed miserably, bro.
I know I did.
You did so well, just, the final minutes of the fucking show, and now you just bombed yourself, bro.
Oh, man. Hey, that's so Chris Paul of you.
Yeah. I mentioned at the top of the show, so
all right.
Hopefully.
All right, yes, but please, man. Dan, can I fucking finish, JD?
My bad. I didn't know you were
man, what is going on? I'm about to flip this fucking table, man. Whatever, man. Get off what you need to get off, man. I'm done.
The last episode of Player's Choice, I accidentally uploaded it wrong like 4 times. I apologize for doing that. That's L producer, so my bad. Euro, I'm sorry.
Nah, I mean, it's cool. If you interrupt me on some L takes, then do that all you want.
CP3 bag, my bad.
Oh, man. Y'all
That's
got
it, man.
Bro.
We got more good content in the pipelines, man. So, just to show an appreciation for you guys fucking with us the way that y'all do, man. We really appreciate that. So we got more good content coming. More stuff that's not necessarily sports related. So if y'all interested, which I know y'all are, please tap in whenever y'all see it. But to see it, you have to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thank you very much. Until next time.
And if you still haven't liked the video, please like the video. Also tonight at 9 Eastern, we got Player's Choice Gridiron. Come tap in with us, man. Hey, we talking about all the crazy games that happened last week, and we're gonna talk about the games next week. So you guys come tap in. Crazy takes, Bama, J-Rob, Fluent, me, Dub. The whole game. Shout out Ben too.
Yes, sir. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, man. Player's Choice on top. We'll catch you on Sunday. Peace out.